Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Hello. Normally it should be fixed. Normally everything should be good. Right. I should have fixed anything. Everything. Hi. Hi, Micro. Do I sound good right now? Do I sound okay? Like at all? Normally when I tested, it sounded right. Right? Goddamn audio issues. I hate them. I hate audio issues so bad. Sounds about right. I don't know. I just joined. My voice kept cutting out. Like I'm talking really loud like this, right? And normally it should pick up at the same level as when I talk at a relatively normal volume like this. Should have the exact same volume, so it should not burst your ears, right? Because like when I start talking really loudly, it's balanced. And that took me a fucking while to set that up because it turns out that one of my fucking settings was turned off for some reason. Just one of the sliders came back to 0 instead of being a 10 like it's supposed to be. Fucking hate my life. Fucking hell. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna start the game very soon. But yeah, if it sounds bad now, if it sounds bad at all, do not hesitate to say, please, genuinely please, I genuinely beg of all of you. I really, really hope it sounds fine now. Okay, let me see. Alright. Let's start the game. Alright, let's start the game. Last time... Fucking hell, coughing fit. Anyways, last time we were at... I don't remember. Like, at all. Where did we stop? Wait, I know to remember. I know to remember where we stopped. Give me a second. Give me a second. Hi, Moonlight. What's up? How are you doing? Welcome to... No, I don't want to print the file. There you go. Welcome to the stream. I'm good. Nice to hear. There's the fucking thing with like the closed room puzzle that I really thought there was a way to solve. Like at all. But it turns out that no, there's just no way. Fuck you. So that was great. Hi, Pilipo, again. Yeah, there we go. It just, as I said, one of the sliders was set to 0 instead of 10. So that was awkward. So yeah, there was a closed room puzzle, and I figured out that there's a high chance that Jessica is involved. Maybe not directly the killer, but high chance that the two of them are involved, right? Maybe for the 2 people thing, right? I'm not certain about the 2 people, but I fear that the person who gave the umbrella and the person who gave the umbrella... Wait, no, I said the same thing. The person who gave the umbrella and the person who killed everyone were 2 different people. There might be a chance of that. I, Malthusian, Cartesian. I completely mixed up both of your names there. Give me a second to change something. Okay, here we go. So, besides that, what did we have to do? Yeah, but they... Oh, right. They title dropped last time, too. When the Seagulls Cry. So that was cool. Maria is never going to die. That's like... She's been certified as one character that's not going to die. Just like Battler. There's no way in hell she dies. But you know, I'm gonna draw a little smiley face. Hideyoshi might die. Here we go. It has been certified by the narrative. So we're good. Alright, let's go. I'm ready. I hope you guys are ready too. Oh yeah, no, right. The witch is invisible, right? He was thinking about this. I reverb. We're so back indeed. The witch was invisible. That's what they were talking about. So. Still pouring down? Maybe the sound of the game is a bit too high, do tell. Smarty what? Smarty pants. Oh, yeah, the Gucci pants. Yeah, it should have named it Gucci pants. True. He's literally you. He's literally you, if you think about it. This stream is Invisible Witch. Exactly. Is this a mod? I don't got voice acting. It is a mod, yeah. I downloaded a mod that changed the translation to remove censorship and get the original sprites back instead of the awful Steam sprites. Because like, let's be clear, right? Let's do a comparison. Right? This is what we're dealing with on the screen. So you know there's a bit of a problem there. You had that ready. Yeah, I did. Obviously I did. Also, I want to point this out. I want to point out something that was sent in my chat, or something someone sent me in the Discord. Pulapo did. I want to show it up on screen because it perfectly represented my feelings on like the entire fucking stream last time. Which, here we go. I'll let you guys read it. Wait. Why are you not letting me resize it? This is my entire fucking feeling on the entire last stream. Right? With George being the fucking smartass and telling everyone that Maria becoming possessed and being a weird-ass fucking kid is actually perfectly normal. Like, all kids have split personalities, actually. I fucking hate this guy. I really hate him. I really do. Oh my god. Alright. Let's go back to reading. I think I'll stick to the OG because of the faces. The OG sprites just look good. They just look good. Like, they have a certain style to them that is just undeniable, right? It is... I genuinely enjoy the sprites. I thought they were gonna be ugly, funny. No, they're just good. They're just good. Very expressive. They have soul, indeed. Hideyoshi seen. Yeah, and he's still not dead. Hell yeah. Hideyoshi, my beloved. Alright, let's continue. No, dilly dally. Let's go. Still pouring down. Ooh. Even if it did stop, there's no bottle until silent. Oh, right. So if for some reason something happened to the boatman, they would still be stuck even if the rain is gone. Right, that's an issue. Biggest nose. Who has the biggest nose? Wait, what? Oh my god, I accidentally changed the game window size. Never mind, we're good. Who has the biggest nose, do you mean? Oh, him. Fair. Oh, his glasses don't even have a thing that goes to the ear. He's holding them with his nose. Oh, right. You're right, I didn't see that. It's just a sheer force of nerdiness. It doesn't actually, like... It's not glasses he can remove. He's just too much of a nerd for the glasses to come off. Right? If you remove the glasses, you kill him. It's important to not remove them, otherwise he would be gone. But it'd be nice if the boat came quickly tomorrow. Oh, thank you for the follow, Moonlight. Appreciate it, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. Okay. I've had enough of this Western Mansion vacation. Here you go. Mom, when will the boat come tomorrow? Normally, the boat to take them back would arrive at 3 today. They probably sent us a phone call to say that it would come after the typhoon passed. But unfortunately, the phones aren't working. And they're gonna assume that we're just taking a long vacation, so they're gonna leave us alone. Stuck on the island forever. But they aren't children over there. They were told to both drop off and collect our guests, so they will most likely arrive first thing tomorrow morning. Probably about 9, I believe. Unless they have short-term memory loss and they already forgot. Which would be complicated. It would make things more difficult, for sure. It was completely black outside. When I looked at the clock, I realized that it was just past 7. I was starting to get hungry. And Goda is still dead. So will you all starve? Never mind Kumasawa clutching. She was cooking enthusiastically. She had let out a variety of dishes, and while they didn't match the level of Goda's artful cooking, they were still quite gorgeous. It was an act of kindness from Kumasawa, who was trying to enliven everyone's low spirits with some food. Thank you, Kumasawa. I still hate you, but you have your good sides. Unlike George, you have good sides. So, as far as I know, you are one of the best characters. Every character is best character except for George. Let's be clear. He was far from unskilled. On the contrary, since she had been brought up in a fishing village, the simple food she created was sometimes highly praised. Even Rosa. I already bridged this several times. I think Rosa is an infinitely better person than George. Like, on a fundamental level, Rosa acted out of pure emotion, right? She just let her emotions run wild and went totally apeshit. Rosa just realized afterwards, like an important thing, Rosa realized afterwards and actively apologized to her daughter, which doesn't excuse what she did, but is still a miles ahead of George justifying what Rosa is doing and saying to everyone that we should not interrupt. We should let Rosa beat her child. We should look away and pretend nothing happened. Even when Mario comes back, we don't even address it. Because that's what Mario would want, actually. Thanks, George. The total coward. He's not a very good person, but she's a very good character. Both of them, yeah. She's not a good person, but she still isn't that bad compared to George. I don't know, I think he's infinitely better for not being a coward like he is. I don't know if coward is the right term, but for someone who's... It's even worse because he's always told to be good with children, so him, like, being completely negligent and justifying actual child abuse, it's crazy to me. Okay, anyways. Kanon arranged the food Kumasawa had finished creating on plates under her direction. Kanon also helped in the kitchen sometimes, but since he was rarely placed in that role, he was slightly awkward, even though he tried his best. Self-conscious about the fact that he couldn't cleverly arrange the food, Kanon's expression darkened slightly. But Kumasawa smiled, as though everything was fine. Oh, it's arranged beautifully. That's good. Aren't you skilled? If it had been Shannon Nissan, it would look even more beautiful. The angst. The angst. Shannon stopped arranging the food for a bit, and on his head. Shannon was the one who always assisted Kumasawa in her cooking. Tonight, Kanon was doing it instead. As he remembered Shannon's face and her brutal hand, he grimaced. Forget that for now. Genji spoke kindly to Kanon as he advanced upon. Nanjo had escaped from the parlor once the mood had grown sour, and Genji had become his opponent in a game of chess, upon Nanjo's request. Yes, I will forget it for now. Indeed. That is probably for the best. Genji purposefully refrained from facing Kanon as he spoke. Why? He did so because he understood that it might make things tougher on Kanon if he noticed that someone was looking at his eyes. Oh, because Kanon is crying. Right. Nenji also understood that and held back any thoughtless words. I wonder where Kinzo-san has gone. I hope that he's safe, but I do not know. However, I believe everything has proceeded as the master had hoped, and arranged for. Yeah, he just snuck away from under the bed, right? Like, that's what we established last time. Unless Natsui killed him, he snuck away from under the bed. Which would be very funny. To distrust that would exceed my role as furniture in service to the master. Aren't you scared, Genji-san? I am frightened something bad will occur again tonight. Isn't it something about the two lovers being separated? Yeah, those who remain shall tear apart the two who are close. So something will happen, and the two who are close are going to be torn apart. So, torn apart, is it kill? Or is it just like tear apart their love, their relationship? Is it metaphorical or literal? That I don't know. The two who are close, I would not say Natsui and Jessica are close. Natsui and Jessica barely started becoming like closer to each other since arriving on the island. Jessica saw her mom very pitiful, very sad, crying, and just actually empathized with her for once. The same way over around. The two are close, there's Eva and Yoshi, right? And I think that's the best bet. So, because for me, there's like two couples. There's those two and those two. And maybe those two, maybe they're together in a relationship and we just don't know. Maybe that's what's gonna be revealed. The reason Nenjo actually stuck with Kinzo's bullshit is so he could see his lover. You know? I mean, that makes sense. I have nothing to be afraid of. I serve the Ushiromiya family, and that is all. Nenjo sighed for his nose and made a carefully considered move. Nenjo was very slightly dubious. Could Genji possibly be thinking that he'd be left out of this? He couldn't even imagine what was happening inside this mansion. But he definitely couldn't deny the possibility that Kinzo had devised something. There's just booby traps laying all around. It's gonna become a game of like not entering the wrong room, otherwise you get your face blasted in by a shotgun. That'd be great. That'd be amazing. If you liken this island to chess, Ginzo had opened the game, and as a result, 6 pieces had been defeated. In one move? Did you just knock over the table or something? You suck at this, Ginzo. Could it be that Genji was calm because he believed he alone was on the outside of the chessboard and therefore safe? In the opening ceiling. Yeah, in like 5 moves. Okay, if in the opening you lose 6 pieces, that sounds pretty bad. That sounds pretty bad, not gonna lie. Like, no, not even in the middle phase, just in the opening. That sounds like a bad opening. That would be complicated. Nenjo thought about it. Gambit opening, sacrifice pieces early on. Oh. I don't know enough about chess, so I'm gonna trust you on this. Isn't everyone just a piece on this chessboard, lined up equally, without any exception? Wasn't even Genji, who had gained more of Kinzo's trust than anyone. No, who was confident of his position as Kinzo's close, only friend. Just another one of the pieces let out on the chessboard. Genji-san, I am truly frightened about tonight. I hope with all my heart that we will still be safe when tomorrow morning comes. He's dead. He's dead. I'm sorry, Ninja. It's over for you. I'm sorry, bestie. I thought it was gonna cut to like its face being smashed in. Would have been really funny. The guest room Eva and Ryushi moved into had originally been built to house guests before the guest house's construction. So until a few years ago, they had stayed in these rooms every family conference and were very familiar with them. This room was just like a room at the hotel, with a bedroom and a bathroom. So even though they were still shut in, it was far more comfortable than the parlor. Yes, it's true, you can relax more when you're alone with your family. It'd be better if everyone else also shut themselves in guest rooms and locked the doors. I mean, someone could still barge in with a fire axe, although that would wake up everyone else. Natsui said that no one could leave the parlor, hurrying and wait around. I'm sure no one would be able to talk back. He's always been treated so coolly, so now that Nisan's dead, he's getting excited about finally having so much power. Such an asshole. Seriously, how shameless can she be? Come on now, don't say that. Natsui's done doing pretty well. No need to jump on her like that. What about that receipt earlier? You went too far. Come on. If I hadn't said it there wouldn't be another good time to say it. I mean, that is true. If she didn't bring it up, if she had not brought it up, no one would have believed her if she said it at a later time, right? If she said it after the body was discovered or something, everyone would think that she was just making shit up. Saying it early makes it more trustworthy. Eva, sulking cutely, looking at the television, sat alongside Hideyoshi, who was lying on the bed. Still, we haven't been alone like this for quite some time. You're right. Come to think of it, both you and I have gotten pretty old. Since George was born, everything's gone by in the blink of an eye. It really has. I wonder if we were too hasty in having a child. Eva's eyes looked like they were staring off into the distance. Yes, she had thought of it as a once-in-a-lifetime chance. What, having a kid? Her older brother Cross had been unable to father a child for quite some time. 6 years passed after his marriage to Natsui without any signs of pregnancy, which didn't please Kinzo at all. Eva herself had thought that, since her name would be moved outside the Yushiro Miyazu register when she got married anyway, it didn't matter whether a successor to Zyetchev was born or not. Wait, I want to check again. George is right below Jessica. Okay, I just wanted to check this. George is right below. Good to know. I did good recording this. I'm glad I recorded this. Very helpful to remember like the ordering of the family now. And then, one day, she had the heavenly revelation. Or maybe it was the whisperings of the devil that she had listened to in her greed. If she could give birth to a successor first, wouldn't she be able to remain in the Ushiromiya register? If things went well, had she have a chance to inherit the Ushiromiya family herself? When she proposed this to Hideyoshi, he had approved of it instantly. This wasn't because Hideyoshi also had greedy thoughts, because he wanted a kid. Yeah, no, fair. God, he's such a good person. For Hideyoshi, who had no close relatives, it was a chance for him to feel once more the long-departed thing called family. God. So when they got married, he hadn't fussed over which last name they were to keep, and had quickly agreed to have his name entered into the Ushiromiya family register. Joshua was in line before Jessica. Yes, yes, he is. Look. He's 7. And Jessica is 6. Like right now, it's Eva first, then Jessica, then George. And Natsu is below even Maria. Yeah, because of the parental hierarchy. Because Cross and Natsue finally got it on and had a kid. Finally. It hadn't been easy to persuade Kinzo, but of his daughter, Eva knew Kinzo's personality well. By choosing the time when Kinzo was most dissatisfied with Natsue, she was magnificently able to make him accept Hideyoshi as an adopted son-in-law. Wouldn't be Jessica's husband technically is next in line? No, because he doesn't have the blood in his veins. They don't operate on who's most recent or whatever. They operate on blood. If you don't have the blood, even if another family, you would technically be at the top. Because you don't have the blood, you're at the end of the line entirely. Which is why Hideyoshi is like below even Natsue. Because despite having the name, it just isn't Shiromiya. Looking at Hideyoshi, while achieved success to starting from nothing, Kinzo might have seen a little bit of himself. He quickly grew to like Hideyoshi and approved his transfer into the Ushiromiya register. George would eventually become the successor to the Ushiromiya family. They had raised him strictly with that purpose in mind. He had been worth their while and had grown to a fabulous young man who wouldn't disappoint no matter where he went. That was why he had not been permitted to fall in love with a servant like Shannon. So when she learned that Shannon was dead and the engagement was now invalid, thought part of her head was still shocked by the gruesome crime. Part of her had also been relieved that her dear George wouldn't be stolen by some servant girl. He's such a bitch. My god. Idekin's a drawing board. Yeah. Listen, I think this is my best edit that I'm ever gonna make for like this entire MS Paint thing. Right? Like look at this. This is just true. If he kills everyone, like everyone kills themselves before he dies, this will become reality. Can you imagine? I can't imagine. I can. And I really do. I can't wait. Hideyoshi is that dude. Which dude? I hated Cross Nissan since long ago. He was so full of himself, always swaggering around, so proud that he would one day become the head. So I wanted to get back at him. Was that just a childish emotion? But in the end, that emotion guided my entire life. If that had been all, then would have been fine. Did Kinzo exist? Yeah, it's the ship. I mean, they did speak about how Kinzo had taken a liking to him. Maybe in a different timeline, Hideyoshi and Kinzo could have been lovers. Who knows? But because of that emotion, I got you and George involved. I used you. Don't blame yourself for that. Hideyoshi got up and held Eva's shoulder. You could feel a warm understanding from him. Well, I reached the halfway point in my life long ago. Guess it's like 50? But you know, I have absolutely no regrets about how I've lived my life. Not one. I think that since I've been with you, Eva, I've been able to relish an enjoyable life that other men never will. Wait, I want to see. Absolutely no regrets. Didn't he say that he was in high amount of debt because he, oh yeah, his company turned public and he didn't put any plan into action to prevent himself from having 50% of the shares. You need to rate those Bundle Favor as a true goat. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, right. After I lost my relatives in the war, you reminded me of shit, what the war for family is. So I'm grateful because you sure I'm my family, and think of it as the only one. And this life I've led with you, not a single thing's been wasted. There's the ones that are going to be torn apart. They are going to be torn apart. 100%. She's gonna die. Fucking hell. It's really been a fun life up till today. Right, well, at least we got 1 out of 3, right? At least 1 out of 3 is still gonna be alive. Thank God. Thank fuck. Thank you, darling. Yvonne her head, burying her face in Hideyoshi's face. Probably no one in the party could even imagine that this side of Eva existed. Yeah, Eva didn't even marry him for like money. Like they've never established that Eva got married with Hideyoshi just for money. If anything, she would have still married Hideyoshi, but she saw an opportunity to have Hideyoshi join the family and, like, you know, gain power. But she still would have if, like, from what I understand, she still would have if there was no chance of coming back. So I don't know, she does seem like a loving woman, at least with Hideyoshi. Which is good, it is good. I'm the one who should be thanking you. But until today, there hasn't been a single day I've regretted being with you. Me too. I'm so glad to have you by my side. George is already a fine adult. Even if I don't look out for him, he's a man who could do his job well on his own. I wonder, around New Year's, we want to go spend some time in the Maldives. God, he's absolutely gonna die. He's absolutely going to die. No. No, Hideyoshi, no. Please. Just us, no one else. No way. Aren't you always saying that you're so busy responding to New Year's cards that you don't even sleep? None of that this New Year's. I won't read New Year's cards. I'll just stay quiet and check to see if I've won the New Year's lottery. It should be nice if we won a color TV this year. No way! I don't want to waste time checking the lottery while in the Maldives. And none of that either! How does it sound? Just the two of us. Taking it easy like when we were newlyweds, just before George was born. Yeah, this bitch is way too nice for someone that is not going to die. Right? This is like when, in an action story, one of the characters starts doing a very long monologue about their life and what it has led up to. Because they're absolutely gonna die in like the next shot. In the next scene, it's gonna be over for them. And it feels that way here. Yes, in that case, fine. I hear the Maldives are wonderful. An island with nothing on it, surrounded by beautiful coral reefs and cottages lined up over the water. Like when we were newlyweds, you say? Starting well. As soon as I finished up some business. I won't know till I ask the travel agency, but probably before New Year's Eve. No way. Right now. I want to go right now. Ivan knocked at his lips in a peevish, yet flirtatious manner. The only sound that fills the room was the distant voice of the announcer on the news, We see the she had left on, and the obnoxious pounding of the rain against the window. But I'm glad we get to spend one last night before his death. Glass break soon. There was a knock on the door, and Genji-san entered. Madam, dinner has been prepared. Will you eat in here again? Yes, I've been brought here. Is Dr. Nenjo still in the kitchen? Yes. He has said he wishes to carefully deliberate over his next move. Do not worry, he is with the other servants. Genji sounds good enough at chess to be grandfather's opponent. I hear he's even better than Dr. Nenjo, right? That's right. Long ago he played against me, but he must have let me win. Maria, sounds like it'll be time to eat soon. But look at you, you've been watching TV all day long and you still haven't gotten bored. Ooh, I'm always watching TV, so I'm fine. Ooh. Hey, Maria-chan, sorry, the TV kid. If she was born 30 years later, maybe 40 years later, she would have been an iPad kid. 100% she would be an iPad kid. It's so over for her. It's so over. It's coming, so we have to clean up the table. Earlier, we had torn several pages out of Maria's notebook and there was no mess where everyone had been drawing together. Jessica began cleaning that up quickly. Still, everyone here really can draw. I never guessed.
Genji.
Yeah, they're just establishing that literally everyone in the room could have drawn the circle outside. Maria watches Skibidi Toilet. I will say, and I will keep saying, that Skibidi Toilet is not that bad. It's not that bad. People shit on Skibidi Toilet, but it's not that bad. The Skibidi Toilet have witches in it? No, but it does have computer women. Which do the double dots free emoji. You definitely watch the Elvis of this, so absolutely. You're right on this one. Elsa's a witch. No, she's a princess. I thought it was just a singing toilet. No, it starts as a singing toilet, but the further you go in Skibidi Toilet, the more it becomes just a mecha show. Like, you know, the giant robots fighting each other. It just becomes that, like, explosions around and people dying and, like, you know, giant mecha that just keep getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Kaiju fights, yeah, but like mecha, more mecha, because every time they're like robots building up another layer of armor and just, you know, going through constant redesigns to make their armor and mecha stronger. It doesn't feel like a kaiju story. It's just like, I don't know, like literally my childhood playground fight and stuff. Yeah, exactly, as Fufu said. It feels the same, I heard someone describe it. It feels the same as a children playground where two childs fight their dinosaurs together and like smash them against each other for a fight. Except with like an actual budget and effort behind it. Code Geass but with toilets. More like Gurren Lagann with toilets. If you think about it. Anyways. Genji, ask Eva-san and the Ushi-san whether they'd at least like to have dinner with us. Maybe we're sitting yourself streaming on Discord. I am. What are you talking about? I am. I'm already set. That's the purple icon. Okay, back to it. Oh, the video will probably turn us down. Looks green to me, weird. Try pressing Ctrl R. Certainly.
お父様の次はエヴァさん
His father, and now Eva-san.
つくづ
It's
く
quite hard to gather everyone to the Usheringham dinner
全員
table.
が揃いませんね
And the three felt their headache start throbbing again and lightly held their temples. The distance from the kitchen to the parlor wasn't that great, so Genji had gone and come back by himself. The guest room was a little further away. Natsui had warned him to avoid being alone whenever possible. And just now, Nenjo had also admonished him, saying it would be better if he had a little more concern for his safety. Kanon accompanied Genji, and the two of them went to visit Eva and Hideyoshi in their guest room. Genji knocked on the door. Eva, Hideyoshi, dinner has been prepared. We did a short while for them to come out, there was no response. Fucking hell. Knew it! I knew it!
源氏様
Genji, look at
これ
this!
は
Kanon pointed on this door. A Western envelope had been inserted under it. Normally, when something was inserted this way, it'd be imprinted as a message from someone outside to someone in the room. So since this might be a private note meant for Eva and Hideyoshi, it was not something that Kanon and Genji were supposed to take interest in. But this Western envelope was one of Kinzo's, the same kind as the one Maria had taken out last night and surprised everyone with. There can be no mistake. It is one of Master's envelope.
あるいは
What could it be? Even though this was one of Kinzo's envelopes, the letter Maria read aloud the previous night hadn't come from Kinzo. Genji continued knocking a little harder and called out in a loud voice. Eva! Eva! It is Genji! Are you there? Please answer, Eva! There was no response from the inside. Sometimes, when the servants went to call some guests for a meal, the guests would be sleeping so deeply that they wouldn't wake up. In times like that, the servants would stick a letter in the door to show that it was time to come out and leave the guest be. But despite that, Genji beat even harder on the door and called out Eva's name. Yeah, he's understandably worried. I do understand. However, there was no answer. Kanon stuck his ear up to the door, held his breath, and listened for any sounds coming from inside.
テレビの音らし
I
い
hear something that sounds like television.
でも
But I
気配
don't
が
sense
感じられ
anyone.
ませんお部屋は
The room might be empty. Wait. Right now, in the room with where they were drawing the circles, was all four of them. Genji, Kanon, and Manjo. Those two are dead. Was the last two options? The last option is Kumasawa. We'll see what the alibi is going to be. Maybe it's Kinzo just going around poisoning people. Who knows? He has like a dart tube, right? Like the thing where you blow into it and it throws a dart. He has that and he's like been poisoning people with it the entire time. From the bushes outside. Took out an handkerchief. Be careful not to touch it with his bare hands. Gently pulled out the envelope that had been stuck under the door. It was sealed with deep red sealing wax. Without a doubt, the mark on that sealing wax had come from the Ishirimiya family at the ring. Eva-sama! Eva! Please answer! Are you still in your room? There was still no answer. There was a chance that those two were aimlessly working around the mansion. This was the home Eva had grown up in. There was plenty of reason to think that she had gone out on a casual stroll. Genji groped around in his pocket and pulled out the bundle of keys, which contained the key that would open the guest room.
Genji-sama!
Genji-sama! And then also understood what this meant. They would use something to unlock the door so they could go in and do things like make the beds, but only after they made sure the guests were out. To unlock the doors for any other reason, and especially should you do so when there was a chance the guests hadn't given permission by still being there, it was an action unbecoming of a servant. Yeah, but he's breaking the rules massively here. But Genji had decided. If the only problem had been that his knock hadn't received a reply, it wouldn't have gone this far. But the envelope under the door was doubtlessly one of Kinzo's. However, one of the Western envelopes of the Ishiramiya family had. After last night, the sender of this envelope could be someone other than Kinzo. If this letter had been sent by someone else... Eva, my apologies. Allow me to enter your room. For giving that final notice, Genji stuck one of the keys from the bundle into the keyhole. There was a sound of the door knocking, and after slowly turning the knob, he slowly started opening the door. Oh no! Light peeked through the crack of the door. Were they in the room? Or were they forgotten to turn the light? There was the sound of the door chain being pulled tight. The chain had been secured, so the chain couldn't be secured from the outside. So it also proved that they were in the room. The sound of voices on the TV seeped out of the room. The light, the chain, and the TV. All these things made it clear they were in the room. But there was no sign of them. Genji called to Eva once again through the crack of the door. There was no answer. Genji, what should we do? Part of their job, the servants were able to unlock almost any lock in the mansion. They had no way to open a door with a chain. The only way to get by this chain was to cut it. That was certainly not permitted as a part of the servants' usual work. A creepy chill had already rushed up their backs. Brendan held his breath again and tried to sense someone through the door. But even so, he was not able to sense anyone. I will call Madam and return. Kanon, said the chain. Yes! Kanon hurried away to get a cutting tool. Genji called him to a stop. Wait, Kanon! Return to the kitchen and take Kumasawa with you. You must not act alone. Yes, certainly. It looked like Kanon was wondering why he had to do something so troublesome in the middle of this urgent situation. For alibis, right? To give everyone an alibi of some sort. Like check on someone before they had the chance to fix everything. But Genji said it out of wariness. He didn't care what happened to himself. In the worst case scenario, he didn't want anything happening to Ken. In the kitchen, Kumasawa was piling food on the serving cart. And Nenjo was waiting for Genji, apparently waiting to show him a move he'd finally thought up that might turn the tables on him. But Genji's appearance immediately told him that something was wrong. Oh, what had happened, Genji-san? Kumasawa's fish dinner will solo Beatrice. Exactly. Oh my god. Please allow this match to be suspended for the time being. Kanon, take care of the chain. Kumasawa, stop setting dinner for now and accompany Kanon. Now we'll go over to Madam. If you would come with me, Dr. Nenjo. Has something happened? Genji took Nenjo, who still didn't know what was going on, and quickly left the kitchen. Kumasawa-san, my apologies, but please come with me. What has happened, Kanon-san? Kumasawa says almost exactly the same thing as Nenjo, unable to take in the situation, and chased after Kanon, who had flown out into the hallway. Taking Kumasawa with him, Kanon went to a storage room and looked through his tools packed in toolboxes and hanging all over the walls, trying to find something that could be used to cut the chain. What are you looking for? Let me out too! We're cutting a door chain. Who was that large wire cutter? Door chain? Oh, why would you need to do something like that? The chain to Eva-sama in Ryushi-sama's room. Even though they should be inside, they didn't answer when we called them. It took Kumasawa some time to figure out how cutting the chain, and Eva and Ryushi not answering were connected. But she did realize that this was an urgent situation. That one would probably do the trick. Took down a very large wire cutter that had been hanging on the wall. It was called a cutter, but maybe it'd be easier to understand if we said it was shaped like a large pair of pliers. And I remember the once being warned that this dangerous tool could easily cut through one of your fingers. Foreshadowing. A bolt cutter. Yeah. Yeah, bolt cutter. Kanon took that and rushed up the stairs. He already knew instinctively. He should fight for every minute, every second to open it quickly. Or perhaps it was already... Please wait, cool in the Kanon-san. Hurry! Misawa eventually caught up with him, gasping for breath with both hands on her knees. Not sure how common bolt cutters are. I would say they're common because those are like pretty standard tools. Like, we're not talking about some esoteric tool. I would assume they also have wrenches and screwdrivers in Japan. You know? Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't, and I'm just being dumb. Maybe. When Kanon changed his grip on the wire cutters and looked up to the door, he let out an ah, struck speechless. Oh! Oh, fuck! I accidentally pressed the wrong thing. No! No, I accidentally pressed the wrong thing! I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back. Dude, I can fix this. Okay, here we go.
かしこまりました。これなら早く。
What? What is this? Yeah, look up the door, let on struck speechless. Umineko speed run. Interesting. I do wonder if, like, at any point they're gonna. Okay. First of all, I'm gonna do something pretty important. Again, I wonder if this thing has anything to do with a murder, because, like, the circle sure didn't. Okay. Okay, here we go. And we're gonna retrace over it, so we have the general shape. Watch my amazing ability to draw lines, by the way. I'm great at drawing. In case it's not clear. Okay. I'm just checking. Give me a second. Checking where exactly the drawings are. Okay. Okay, we're good. Squiggles and everything. Perfect. Haha, peanuts. True! It does represent a penis. Now that you say it. Now that you say it, it does. What is this? Kurosawa screamed weakly, her face pallid. What the fuck happened? Oh! Switch the screen. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. What is this? Yeep! Kumasawa's friend weakly, her face pallid. So you only missed one line, thankfully. The culprit drew a dick, just trolled him. Based. Amazing. I love the culprit. That was no surprise, because right there on the door, just like the magic circle that had been drawn on the shutter of the Rose Garden storehouse, there was another ear shape, drawn with blood like paint. However, it'd be all to call this one a magic circle. Because unlike what most people would expect, it wasn't a circle. Yeah. That does change, yeah. But a slightly more complicated geometrical shape, a cock. However, the strange characters filling in the gaps, which word from the alphabet, were the same kind as the ones on that magic circle on the shutter. But the thing that had Kanon struck speechless wasn't how eerie the magic circle was. That something like this had done been here a short while ago. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. First, he had taken a trip back to the kitchen. To that, he'd gone to the storage room to grab a tool and headed right back. Put those together, and it couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. How could someone add something this creepy during that period of time? And as though it had just been drawn, almost like the door itself was bleeding, several unsettling vertical red lines slowly dripped down, getting longer and longer. Could the killer have been Genji all along? No, because he did not know about the charm. He did not know about the charm. So there was no way for him to know. Like, he did not see it. It was how his knees gave way, and she seconded on the spot. Genji master artist. They did establish that everyone in that room previously could draw well. If Kumasawa hadn't done this first, then Kanon surely would have wanted to. Beatrice! True! It's worked with Beatrice! Oh, Orid! Oh, Orid! Kanon gulped, then readied the wire cutter and approached the door. He didn't want to get close to this disturbing magic circle, and he really didn't want to touch a steadily dripping substance that looked like blood. But if he didn't get close, he wouldn't be able to cut the chain. Fighting this cold feeling, he gulped again, and after gathering his courage, he went even closer, putting the wire cutter up against the chain. He then pressed with all of his strength, managing to cut through the chain far more easily than he anticipated. And they're still having sex, right now. They're just interrupting in the middle of it. The cut chain fell into two separate parts, which continued to clang as we swayed back and forth. Kanon-san, there's an envelope by your feet. And isn't that the master's? Looked like Kumasawa had also noticed his western envelope. And that the sealing wax had been sealed with the edge ring. Kanon hesitated for just a second over whether he should open the lamp first to check inside the room. But he eventually decided on fulfilling his original purpose. Kanon pulled out an handkerchief out of his pocket. This was so he wouldn't leave fingerprints on the door. Yeah, I'm thinking Jessica has the highest likelihood. Oh my god, no, yeah. Jessica has the highest likelihood of being the killer because she lived here for like 7 years. She definitely had time to assemble the components to make a dress that looks like Beatrice. She had a portrait of Beatrice the entire time that she could look at and model the suit after. She had ample opportunity to plan how it would pan out upon finding the key. Right? And she did establish that she tried to find the key too. Although she said she didn't find it. She is good at art, as established before. She could have learned like all the ritual circles from, you know, just reading beforehand, or by just asking Kinzo while dressed, while pretending to be Beatrice or something. I don't know. I don't fucking know. If his worst fears were realized, the police would want to investigate this room too. True. He slowly pushed the door open. He was able to more clearly hear the sound of the television, which had been sipping out faintly this whole time.
Eva-sama.
Eva-sama? Eva was lying face up on the bed. On the bed with her shoes still on. Kumasawa, who had fiercefully entered after Kanon and was hiding behind his back, feeling a short ache again when she saw Eva like that. Eva's shoes had been the first part of her that Kanon had seen. So the oddness of wearing shoes in bed. I'm gonna write that down. Where do I write that down? Where's shoes in bed? Weirdo. There we go, that's established at least. But whenever Zed shifted into his line of sight, Helen couldn't help but let out a short scream like Kumasawa. Right in the middle of Eva's forehead, something had been placed? Something was growing there? No. Right in the center of her forehead. Was it an old-fashioned knife? That, or some weapon like it was sticking out? At the base of where it was stuck in, blood dripped down, staining the sheets on the other side bright red. Kumasawa's knees gave way once more, and she sank down on the floor. Her mouth kept flapping open and closed, but she couldn't even scream. Eva was dead with some kind of weapon sticking out her forehead. Where is Hideyoshi? Oh, that's the sound that something updated. And that shows the injury, okay. Fall on the bed of a guest room inside the mansion, the weapon resembling an ice pick sticking out her forehead. Please, Hideyoshi, I beg you. Nice writing, thank you. Both eyes were open wide, and the image of the person who killed her must have been burned into them. The only move capable of naming that person had been shut for all eternity. Even though her forehead was the last place we wanted to look, we couldn't tear our eyes from it. Right there, the weapon was stuck into Eva's forehead, standing almost perfectly upright. And on the handle was a complicated design that you wouldn't expect to see on an ordinary weapon. That thing could be summed up with the word occult. I mean, Kinzo's room is wide open. Someone could definitely have entered it and grabbed the knife there. Right? I'm not saying it's Jessica, but literally anyone in the mansion could have walked up in there and taken the knife. It was a vulgar object with a design that might have been some demon. What about Hideyoshi? Hideyoshi! Eva was on top of her bed, but the other bed was empty. Where was Hideyoshi? After taking a backwards glance at Kumasawa, still on her knees and stupefied, he checked the bathroom just in case. At the moment he was opened the door, he was greeted by steam and the sound of a shower. The bathroom was of the same familiar style as most hotel bathrooms. When taking a shower, a water curtain was used to keep water from flying out. No! 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 I thought he survived! No! Why? I died, Yoshi. Nice one, Mac. Also, I don't think I said I to you. What's that open? And lying tumbled down the bathtub was Hideyoshi, completely naked, with both eyes open, and pointing right at Kanon. Just like Eva, a weapon with demon-like design was stuck in his forehead. Wait, he's pointing? So the person who attacked did not do it with a poison. Since his head had been under the showers with water this whole time, his face wasn't half covered in filthy with blood like Eva's had been. But the sight of him dead while still taking a shower was tragic enough. My body's so dirty leaving him yeah, it's awful. You can see it in the CG hidden by the text box. Oh! Let's read this one more time. One last time. He took his wife's name upon their marriage and became a member of the Ushirimiya family. He therefore does not possess the spiteful genes passed down through Ushirimiya family members, and his bright smile is very refreshing at the family conferences. He started his business from scratch, and no worse as a president of a medium-sized restaurant chain. The chain seems to be growing and performing extremely well. His bright smile is very refreshing at the family conferences. Right before, only in the bathroom of the same guest room that Eva was found in. Like Eva, there was a weapon resembling an ice pick sticking out of his forehead. You can't see either of them by looking through the gap of the door while the chain is set. You can't see them, so you can't reach them. Hey, so how could a human possibly kill them? Beatrice is talking to us meta-wise. Because Battler got cocky and said there's no way anyone could be inside. There's no way that, you know, magic exists. And if it was a witch, they would have chosen a different time. Right? This is vengeance from Beatrice. Only Mary and Battler have the key now. I would say this is not Maria. I would say when this happened, Maria is channeling Beatrice. I don't think this is Maria speaking. Don't think anyone else has laughed like that. Also, yeah, Battler is basically he. It's not he. I did not expect the text to address me meta-wise. Or at least address Battler. Okay, I did good reading that then. I get to see her again so I don't feel lonely. This is Maria. This is written from the point of view of Maria. This is... This is from Maria's viewpoints. That all of this is written. I get to see her again so I don't feel lonely. And then this. God damn it. Just then, we heard Natsui's voice coming from the hall. He was probably coming with Genji. Who the fuck does someone enter? Again with this crap. What about this letter? What does it say inside? I don't know. I haven't read it yet. We shouldn't touch it carelessly. The culprit's fingerprints might be left on it. We should hand it over to the police. They went out of their way to leave it here. I'm sure we wouldn't have left fingerprints. Yeah. As Natsui said that, she picked up the envelope. No, she's right on that. Before checking its contents, she entered the room herself, where she found Eva, dead. Eva! Madame, Hideyoshi-sama is here too. This is truly atrocious. Kanon, turn off the shower. Don't let this be any more pitiful than it needs to be. Yes, ma'am. Kanon gripped his handkerchief and twisted the valve, turning off the shower. Who the fuck could kill Hideyoshi? Who the fuck could kill Eva? Like, I want to point this out, right? I did point this out a bunch of times. They said this in passing at the start of the game, but it is still relevant. He's a martial artist. And Hideyoshi is like the size of like 3 men. Who the fuck did anyone left in the cast manage to kill either of them? With a knife. And like, they mentioned it. He was pointing out at Kanon. When he died, he was pointing towards us. Towards the entrance of the bathroom. There's no fucking way that any of them, besides Genji, would have been able to do it. But Genji... How the fuck did they get past the chain? I really don't want the answers to be magic. I really don't want the answer to be magic. There's no fucking way the answer is magic. The bathtub. Small jar of body soap has pounded with its cap off. Really looked like it'd been attacked while taking a shower. No! God damn it, I forget. It could have just been poison. It could have just been poison. It's the entire time. It could still have been poison. They both could have been poisoned, and then the poison like started acting later. And the person came in, stabbed them with a knife, set up the scene so it looked like before. Right? Like made them point at the door. Again, the cuts are too clean. Right? This is the exact same problem I had with the rest of the family. The face was smashed after death. This was not to serve as a ritualistic thing. This was to scare and hide what happened. And what happened was nothing. It was a poison or something similar. There was no other bruises, and the mauling past death was definitely to hide that they died in a way that doesn't leave any wounds. They got killed by poison. Those two. But how? How could a human possibly kill them? It's not like you can even sneak in, right? Like you could assume they could just sneak in by crouching. There's no way. There's no way to close it. Like a door with a chain like that, there's no way to close it from the outside. And I'm certain they were paranoid. Very understandably so. So, one of the easy solution, like Kinzo crawl out of a window, stab them. This is the classic locked room mystery. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. But like, okay, if I understand correctly from the geometry we saw, right? If I understand correctly from the geometry we saw, this. Let's say this. No, actually, I want this to be bigger. This is gonna be their room, right? From what I understand, their room looks like this. Rectangle. Right? Here is a door. Let's assume it's like this, right? You can very slightly open the door. Very slightly. So I'm gonna, give me a second, I want to erase. I want to be perfect, here we go. I'm gonna put it in red. Locked. A bit too big. Right, there's 2 locks on this too. I think that's important to point out. There are 2 locks on this. It's not just a chain. It's a chain and a key. There's a door on the side. You think from the point it shows, it feels like it's like this, right? The bed is like ready from what I understand, right? The beds. And they said they could see the TV, I think. Like the TV is right here. Right? And here, on this bed, lies Eva. In orange. With the knife sticking out. Wait, I'm gonna draw the inside orange. Give me a second. Just so the knife is more visible. Okay. Here you go, and the handle and the blood. Alright. That's Eva. The line of sight from this could be at most like this, right? Maybe you could see the TV. I think you could see the TV or something. There you go. I'm gonna write line of sight. Maybe it will have some importance. Maybe. And then, here, in this corner, is the bathroom. Here we go. The door, like right there. There is no lock on this door. We don't have to worry about that. And inside, we don't know where the bathtub is, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna put curtains. Fill this with water. I could add a little sink where, just for like accuracy. Here we go. Little sink. And here, this will be important so I can like reference it later on. I'm gonna put him in brown due to his suit. Here we go. And another knife. With blood. And pointing. At the door. Right, that's what the screen showed us. And now there should be windows here. I'm gonna put them in light blue. And I assume the windows are locked. Would be surprising otherwise. Something like this, right? I assume the windows are something like this. And then there's a window right here. Right here there's a window to the outside. Here we go. So, one of the easy possibilities is someone was already hiding in this place. But that's not possible. Unless there's a cupboard or something inside that we are not aware of. That they didn't happen to check. There's no way in a layer like this that a person would be hiding, right? Because if someone was hiding, the best place would be the bathroom. And then the person comes in while they're having sex and kills them. It would be by far the easy solution, right? Kill them while they're fucking, because then they're completely distracted. But that's not what happened. He died in the shower, so there's no way there was anything in the bathroom. Maybe there's a cupboard. We'll know. They'll point it out. I'll let them later. And on the beds. Maybe under a bed? I don't know. I don't fucking know. We'll see, but so far, I generally... Unless there is extra details being added, there is no way that this is not magic here. Oh, right. I need to add this. Here we go. We're taking notes. We're gonna solve this. Here we go. I think it's important to note down all those details so later on I can look at the big picture. Like, this is the one I'm most dedicated to solving. I'm gonna find whoever fucking killed Hideyoshi. There is still a small splash of blood clinging into the white bathtub, but the combination of red and white made a horrible contrast. They should add some blue in there. Is the soap blue? They should just like dump a lot of it. That way it's red, white, and blue. Or blue, red, and white. Blue, white, and red. Oh my god. I suck. Dr. Nanjo. I understand. No signs of postmortem lividity. Rigor Morris hasn't begun either. We seem that an hour or so has passed since they were killed. Not even so. A weapon with such a short handle could do that to the skull. I cannot imagine. Imagine if that's how he keeps getting away with it. He stabbed both of them and died again. True. Yeah, I do need to note this. Okay. I will note this. Weapon too short to be a skull easily. Plus 1 single wound. Plus Eva martial artist. Couldn't have died so cleanly. Here you go. Let's add all of those. We're gonna make sure that we get every detail. Then do check their pulse and their pupils, making certain of their deaths once more. Let's get on with this business-like treatment. He thought. Didn't you tell at the glance they were dead without doing all that? Nanjo thought about removing the weapon, but then decided it'd be better to preserve his team and hand it over to the police. So he left it alone. But a close inspection of the base showed that they didn't have a blade. In fact, it was more conical than blade-shaped. What? It's a drill? Wait, I'm gonna write that when we get more details. But notice that rather than a knife, it was more like a short-handled spear. Something with a shape better suited for thrusting than slicing. It was a nice pick. Yeah, you're right. Rather than a short spear, you might call it a thick ice pick. So wait. I'm gonna remove this because that's just false then. Here you go. Okay. At any rate, after looking at this scene, no further words are needed to describe what sort of terrible purpose such eerily designed weapons were originally made for. Nor was it necessary to explain how they carried out their function. Natsui, hoping to escape the repulsive scene, filling the bathroom as soon as she could, covered her mouth with a kerchief and dashed from the room. Viewing the gruesome bodies for an instant had been enough to burn the image into her eyes. If she looked any longer, that image would surely remain in her vision for all eternity. Wait, I guess this is supposed to be her notebook, right? This is supposed to be Maria's notebook? Maria is noting down all of this. Huh. Anyways. The rising urge to vomit was exactly the same feeling she'd had that morning at the gardening storehouse. What? For a while, Natsui couldn't help but stand with her back facing the guest room, fighting that sickness in her stomach. At any rate, we can't let the children. We can't let George seize this room. Fill this room with waste. Yes, we mustn't let them see. If George saw his parents in this brutal state. But he could tell that the fiercely racing footsteps in the hallway belonged to George, even before he came dashing into the room. George and the other children had been waiting in the parlor. However, when they saw Genji speak to Natsui, when they saw her turn pale and fly out of the parlor, they felt a sense of foreboding. And when they saw a large group of people gathered around the guest room, they were sure of it. Father! Mother! What is this? Another magic circle? Never an Uncle Idusha safe, right? Kanon-kun, what's this all about? But Paddler-sama. Kanon didn't have to say anything. George screamed until he ran into the room, told them everything they needed to know. Oh, I just realized. On the third twilight, those who remain shall praise my noble name. Wait! Okay, those who remain shall praise my noble name. This means that no murder will happen tonight, the next night, but everyone will think that Beatrice is real, because there's no way anyone could have broken into his room. However, on both the first Twilight and the second Twilight, it never mentions that it's Beatrice who does it. Offers the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices, or the one who obtains the key. But on the second Twilight, those who remain, it's not necessarily the one who obtains the key. The second Twilight, it's those who remain. It could have been someone else entirely. On the third Twilight, we'll see. Okay. Just find it weird how those deaths and the blame on Beatrice just don't match with the riddle, with the epitaph. Yeah, he lost the love of his life. The love of his life and both his parents. I don't... Even if I dislike him, he doesn't deserve this. Oh, who did this? I'll kill you! I'll kill you! George. I think he's there. That's how he touched George's shoulder with her hand, but he violently shook her out. George fell over beside Eva and buried his face in the bed in front of his mother's face, wailing. Then he pounded in the bed with his fist, over and over again. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything. Like, I'm looking right now, right? There doesn't seem to be any place to hide here. Right? George! And get there. Uh-huh. Butler? What is he doing? Butler. Butler, with his back against the wall of the hallway, he was covering his eyes with his right hand and weeping without restraint. Horrible. That's horrible. He proposed to the girl he loved and lost her the next day. And on the same day, when his mom and dad were killed. Isn't that too harsh? Of course, it's sad whenever anyone dies, no matter who it is. But to Butler, those left alone by the deaths of others were far more worthy of pity. Everyone here knew had lost someone close to them. George wasn't the only one to be pitied. However, George's pain was far greater than everyone else's. Yeah, like, Butler lost 2 people he didn't care about. Maria did not care about her mom, or like, it's not that she didn't care, it's that she thought that the mom was like gonna, you know, come back anyways. They didn't really care about Cross, but him, he lost everything. I feel like if I make fun of George after it's fine, I'll be on the same train as Scared Away is a bad character. Yeah. I mean, no. Really? Like, okay, it's just like seeing the worst person ever go through the extremely most traumatic events ever, right? He's still the worst person. That didn't change. He's still the worst person ever. But man, give him a fucking break. Like, Jesus fuck. Yeah, he's a bad person, but he doesn't deserve this. Okay, give me a second. Here we go. Oh wow, 3 viewers. Yeah, and then I get banned because it's got a shit ton of viewers. I know. Everyone dies sooner or later. If you're human, you eventually reach a time where you gotta fight the sorrow of losing someone close to you. But still, shouldn't that day define the future for Aniki? And shouldn't those deaths visit him one at a time? Horrible. It's too horrible. That bastard. Bastard. You will note that Jessica is not reacting much. Badler is weeping at the tragedy of his brother losing everything. Natsui and the others are just too revolted and shocked. Jessica is just standing there huh? What? She's so guilty. She's so guilty. Doesn't he have even a speck of human sympathy in him? Butler, don't cry, don't cry. But I tried to comfort Butler in a mechanical sounding voice. Butler violently wiped his tears. Yeah. Damn it. I won't cry anymore. Tears of regret, tears of sadness. I won't shed them again until someone else dies. It's all useless. The witch has got me backed into a corner. I'm always on the defensive. That's useless. It's so useless. I'll spin the chest going around. But ow. That bastard probably thinks we'll be running scared like sheep until tomorrow before we try anything. But guess what? I'm spinning around. That bastard can't escape this island until tomorrow either. We won't be hiding away, pissing ourselves, that bastard will. I'll expose you. You'll see. By tomorrow. No, screw tomorrow. Tonight. Before tonight's over, I'll be gripping you by the collar. Hell yeah! Fuck yeah, let's fucking go, Butler. Let's fucking go, Butler. Umineko, Butler won't cry. True. At any rate, we lock this room and leave everything as it is until the police comes. No objections, I take it. Let's we announce it as if you didn't care whether we agreed or not. If anyone had the right to object, it would have been George. But he looked as though in shed enough tears. George nodded slightly, still facing away from the others. And when he stood up, everyone else agreed too. That's why he still hadn't opened that western envelope of the family ad that she picked up. But now that they decided to leave this room, they decided to unseal it in the parlor, where everyone could watch. As soon as they walked out into the hallway to head back to the parlor, some of them immediately felt something out of place, or maybe sensed something strange. Someone's missing? She was here, she was here, he was here, he was here, she was here. They were all here. All of them, except Kinzo. What is out of place? Is that the really devil may cry? No, because he won't cry. I mean, Jessica and Butler are also adults, even though they're like 18. But yeah, essentially, all of them are dead, and the only ones left are the children. I would have expected the servants to go first, actually. I'll assume Kinzo is alive and the murderer until he's found. Well, 100% he dies here. Thanks? You didn't miss it too, Maria? Seriously, what's with that smell? It's awful. What if one sniffed in the air? They did notice a horrible burnt smell drifting through the hallway, one that none of them had smelled until then. The mansion is on fire? I will go quickly to check the kitchen. I'm sure I turned the flame out. After noticing a burnt smell, it was natural that Kumasawa, who had just been using the burner in the kitchen, suspected that her own slip-up had caused it. Kumasawa instantly dashed away. Kanon, go with Kumasawa. Do not let her be alone. What? No. Yes! After nodding at Genji's order, Kanon followed after her. He wasn't running, but as he followed her, he tried to search for the cause of the smell. Will you keep pressing like damn? I have no idea. But I do keep pressing it apparently. Thanks! It really is. A stench that makes your nose wrinkle. Whatever. It doesn't mean you could just open a window for ventilation. Natsu was reluctant to open the windows in a situation where self-defense was so important. Let us run the fan. Do not believe there will be any need to open the windows. George, is it okay if I talk to you? If it's about finding a culprit, then I have no problems. I think that George had managed to climb out of the abyss of sorrow. All that filled his chest now was a quiet flame of hatred towards the culprit who had stolen the lives of one he loved and his beloved parents. Chains, but his room was set. From what I could tell by looking at it, it's positive that it couldn't be opened from the outside. In other words, this was a perfect closed room. That does seem to be the case. In the case of the Rose Garden storehouse, they might have sneaked the shutter's key out of the servant's room. Or maybe they had a duplicate key. I can imagine many ways they could have done it. But this chain is different. Among generally used locking techniques, a chain is the simplest one to create a closed room with. Only a chain will block everyone coming from the outside as long as it isn't physically broken. So does this mean the culprit couldn't have gone in or out through the door? That's interesting. Just a few hours ago, I seem to remember everyone making a fuss over how to enter a room without using the door. Back then, we were all losing our cool, wondering how grandfather had disappeared from his room. The receipt on Eva stuck in the door on a whim proved that the door had remained sealed. And since Natsui was the only person to enter or exit at that time, he was under suspicion. Eva proposed a theory about how Natsui might have thrown grandfather out the window and left by the door herself. But this door is much simpler. Oh, okay, wait. I'm gonna copy this. So, yeah, here we go. Perfect. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Then I add in the rest with this. This. And then we switch this back around. Oh, which way does the door open? Other way around. Like this. Okay. This is more at the center of the room. Sorry, I just want to take as many notes as possible for the future. I do want to try and solve all of this, like, properly, you know? You know. Okay, here we go. Line of sight is like this. It's gonna be like this. Right, lock with chain and key, line of sight like this. And here we go. Perfect. We're both wrong. Yeah, no, we're both completely wrong. That's fair. I was sealed from the inside by the door chains. The window had also been locked from the inside, and the bodies had been inside the room. Okay. Let's go write this. Locked from inside. There we go. This time, it really had been, without exaggeration, a true closed room. That's right. If you include grandfather's disappearance, 3 cases have occurred, and all 3 times, the door has been the point of interest. The first was a shutter. There was a key in the servant room, and if we assume someone knew about that, this can't really be called a closed room. The next was a door sealed by the receipt. However, only Natsui entered the room. So if grandfather had left through the window, or been thrown out, he would have been able to lock the window before escaping. Or like my theory, grandfather could have hidden until the receipt was gone and left the room later. Basically, this door can be defeated with a handful of desperate tricks. In that sense, you really can't call this one a closed room either. And now, we have the door sealed with a door chain. Okay, so assuming it's still Kinzo, Eva could have let him in since he's Kinzo, could have stabbed both of them, that hid inside the room and left after everyone else did. No! No, it could not have, Safik. They just sealed the room, right now. Right before leaving, Natsui sealed the room. So he can't have left after everyone else did. He would still be stuck inside the room if that was the case. He could have opened the window or opened the door, but that would have meant everyone being able to see that the room was not truly closed all along. Finally, we have to give up. The window, the door, everything had been locked. It was a perfect closed room. The first hadn't been a closed room because everyone could be suspected. The second hadn't been a closed room because Aunt Natsui could be suspected. But this time, no one can be suspected. This was a perfect closed room because the door chain formed a seal that blocked everyone equally well. In that case, did the culprit carry out the crime without entering the room? With some method from outside the room? Seems tough. I mean, you can unlock doors from the inside, but you can't lock them again. That's the issue here. Good point. Even those chain makes it impossible to open it wide enough for a person to fit through. You can open it a small crack. The culprit knock on the door to make them peer out before attacking them? No. Wait, am I missing something? Yeah, you are. If one Eva's body had been laying right next to the door, then it might have been possible. She was on the bed at the back of the room. And then Hideyoshi was even in the bathroom. Looking from the crack in the door, you couldn't even see them. And you couldn't reach them with your hands either. Damn it, it's all useless. I don't have a clue. Try and flip the chessboard around. We're trying to think about how someone could enter and attack them, right? So, how about the person is already in the room and they're trying to leave, right? I think the escape of that room is more important than entering it. How do you escape it while keeping everything locked? You could do as you said, hiding under a bed and waiting until they hear, right? You could you could be one of the victims and just smash your own hand. Wait, what if it's Eva? Okay, that sounds silly, but what if it is Eva? What if she killed Hideyoshi, which is where the struggle marks, inside of a room, and then stab herself in the head? What if it is murder? What motive does she have to do that? That's a good question. But like, that is one of the possibilities. The motive is not something I can determine yet. I'm considering every possibility. Maybe it is impossible for her to have this motive. Maybe it is. But one thing on the table right now is double suicide. Or like murder suicide. Right? That is a very easy possibility to picture. It is not impossible that this is what transpired. Considering... No, I know, Cal. I know. I know that there is no motive yet. No, yeah, I know that this is, indeed. But I'm considering every possibility first, before starting to figure out motive. Right? How do you pierce your own head? She is extremely proficient, extremely powerful martial artist. If she really wanted to, she just takes the ice pick and stabs extremely strongly into your own head. She does one strike, but that's enough. Also literal face desk too. Yeah, true. But yeah, there's no clear motive yet, like, so why she would do this. But if we imagine that it is not her, right? We imagine there's a third person in the room. How does that person leave? At all, right? I think I'm stuck either way. There's no way to enter, and there's no way to leave. You were talking about how Kinzo would have the keychains, but the key can't unlock those wires. That wire can't be unlocked. Like, it is literally impossible to unlock unless you got bolt cutters. Which, you know, there's literally no way of this happening, because they would need to replace the chain right after and then lock it from outside, which is not possible too. Is it? Would it be possible to come in, cut the chain, kill them, it just, you know, place a new chain? It probably isn't. It probably isn't. Again, my fear is that Eva let Kinzo in. Yeah, but like, how would he have closed the door? Right? You have a point, but how did he close the door? Hi, Vermont Adjuster. 2 people died. I speak to the edge inside a closed room. So, we're trying to figure out how they could have entered or left the closed room. By closing the door and Stefik. The issue is, right? The issue is, if that was the case, he could not escape again because Natsui sealed the room right after everyone left. So unless later on they pass by and it turns out that it's unlocked, which would be lame. What about a hidden way out? Yeah. Yeah. If someone had planned in advance, they could definitely. You were talking about a tunnel, Safik. They could definitely add in like a safe passage. It is not impossible that in that room there is a way to leave and come back safely, hidden inside a wall or something. It is worth checking. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going, let's keep going. Maybe they'll dismiss that, maybe they'll prove that. We'll see. Something was tugging softly at my sleeve. It was Maria. Ooh, satisfied? What do you mean satisfied?
バトラは親族の誰かを疑うのが嫌だから、犯人はベアトリーチェであってほしいと願ったよ。
I want to point out before I read this. Those who remain shall tear apart the two who are close. It is not Beatrice. According to the riddle, like straight up, it is not Beatrice who did this. Lerv, since you want to suspect any of your relatives, you made a wish, saying you wanted the culprit to be Beatrice, right? Well, Beatrice granted that wish. Just as you asked, she did something that was completely impossible for you and to make you believe in the witch. Now you're complaining? That was selfish. I thought Maria was laughing unpleasantly on the head with my fist. Sure, thanks for granting that wish. That just now was to thank you, and also to teach you to stop laughing once inappropriate. More importantly, tell me, there was another mysterious scribble on the door to Aunt Eva and Uncle Yoshi's room. Was that another magic circle? True, Cartesian, true. That was really memorable and characteristic design, but I hope you at least know what it was. Yeah, it's a giant clock. Ouch. I don't know, which is why I'm letting you take the credit. Quit whining and explain. You sure are a violent battler. I won't tell you if you're too mean, get it? I assume it's not like violent tap, it's just like slightly tapping her on the back of the head. Enough to sting a little, but not to actually hurt her. I'll say it. Stop hitting me. The first magic circle of the moon. What does it mean? What is this magic circle's effect? What does the Hebrew writing mean? The words are from the Old Testament. Psalms 107, verse 16. For he has broken gates of brass and cuts through bars of iron. This magic circle has two effects. First, it can open a door regardless of which method has been used to lock it. That's sure it's convenient. You're saying we're trying to make it look like we're a witch because this closed room? No! They want us to believe this is magic. There's no way. Because they died before this ritual circle was inscribed. This ritual circle did not exist when they decided to open the doors. Because they could not hear them anymore. So you're saying they're trying to make it look like they're a witch because this closed room has a door that can't be opened without relying on magic. And the other effects? When you're blocked by an unopenable door in no direction, it opens the door. By using it in a difficult situation, it gives you a solution you hadn't even thought of until then. Generally speaking, you receive the powers of observation, discernment, inspiration, and intuition. She was just trying to rook you, since there's no way lowly humans like Battler could figure out how this door was opened. So wait, let me write that. I want to write that, give me a second. There you go. That's for this one. This one, two effects. Can open doors regardless of which method has been used to lock it. Second effect. When you're blocked, when blocked, it opens a door, i.e. it gives you a solution you hadn't even thought of until then. And I'm gonna write whether the circle was placed after the murders. Here we go. Also, I love that face of Maria on the right. Wonderful. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, get to work. Just shut up. Sounds great. I'll accept this challenge from the witch. Maria-chan. Things like witches and demons don't exist in this world. Someone killed father and mother. I don't know whether that was someone I know or not. But either way, it was definitely a human. Yeah, it's those who remain. Yeah, but how? How did they reach us through the crack in the door? It could not have been more than 10 centimeters wide. 10 centimeters wide. And anyway, I can hardly stand the stench. What in the world could it be? And then Kumasawa, who had gone on ahead, realized the smell wasn't coming from the kitchen, even before they arrived there. It was because they noticed an even thicker wave of stench rising up from the stairs leading to the basement, which they passed on their way to the kitchen. The boiler room. I wonder if there's something wrong with the boiler again. Someone's burning the evidence. Those stairs led to the underground boiler room. The Dimension's boiler was old and in poor condition. Both of them had witnessed problems with the boiler on several occasions. Alright, I'll drink once I finish this line. But they had never smelled the boiler belching out a stench like this before. Wait. Slam, wait, what? What was that sound? Okay, BRB. Gonna drink. It's not a witch, it's not magic that killed it. There has to be a 90th person on the scene. Right? There's no other way. There's just no other way. It has to be a 90th person who's doing this. I do not see how you would be able to do this otherwise. Because everyone is current. Oh, sorry, thank you. Everyone is currently together at this point in time. So I do not see how it is possible to not have a 90th person on the island. Right? Or could there be someone in the boiler room otherwise? Everyone but Kinzo. Right! Never mind! Kinzo's downstairs. What was that sound? The thing they heard from the basement was definitely the sound of a door closing. Kumasawa had phrased it as a question, but she already knew it couldn't be anything else. Kumasawa was so surprised at the sound that her knees gave way yet again and she cowered. After all, at that very moment, no one could have been in the boiler room. Kinzo could have. Just a few seconds ago, everyone had crawled together around Evan Hideyoshi's room. So who caused the sound of a door closing just now? It's either Kinzo or a contraption like planned to go off at that point.
Kanon-san!
Kanon! Taking a second to sort out the situation, Kanon ran down towards the basement. Since they heard the sound of a door closing just now, and there was no sign of anyone coming up the stairs. The person who'd closed the door had to be inside the boiler room now. If the boiler room had been a dead end, Kanon wouldn't have rushed in so hastily. But Kanon was a servant, so he knew. There were two entrances to the boiler room, one that opened to the mansion, and one that opened to the courtyard. If he didn't chase them now, they might slip away. Kumasawa reached the same conclusion long after Kanon died. But she couldn't let him go alone. If the thing in the boiler room was a culprit, an opponent who had easily killed 6 adults in the first murder, then no matter how Kanon confronted them, he couldn't be a match. Of course, with this argument, even if Kumasawa joined them, it wouldn't change anything. At any rate, after a delay, Kumasawa decided that she mustn't let Kanon go alone, and she rushed down the stairs. That's another entrance to the mansion. Yep. Yeah, that's good to note. The use of bold text in this version is starting to get a tad excessive. I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't see how it's excessive. It's using them in not that many places. And every time, it is for important information. The boiler room's characteristic dance, eat tormented. I'm happy I already know what red text is, because otherwise I would be upset that you spoiled something. But yeah, the times I've seen it used, it fits. I agree, it did fit. The boiler room's characteristic damp heat tormented him. It had always been an unpleasantly smelly and an odd place. And on top of that, the room was full of that horrible stench, which made Kanon feel like he was going to be sick. Oh yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I did talk about it in the past. Never mind. All right, sorry. Sorry, you're fine then. My apologies. There was no doubt that his room was the source. In that case, Kanon should have been searching for where the smell was coming from. However, Kanon kept gazing straight forward as he grabbed the hatchet from a tool shelf just off to the side of the door. He hadn't stretched out his hand because he wanted a hatchet. He had wanted to grab a weapon, any weapon. Why? Someone's here. Kanon gazed into the darkness where the naked light bulb couldn't pierce. Then he answered. In roulette, you bet on a number or the colors red or black, vying for a payoff. However, low-risk bets like black and red only offer a similarly low payoff. The words from Kanon's mouth were swallowed up by the darkness. Wait, what's happening? Huh. That darkness suddenly started to swirl, glittering. Is this Beatrice? Beatrice? Are we gonna see Beatrice? Please let me see her. It was such a fantastical scene. Golden sparkling butterflies that hid in the shadows all over the boiler room. Flapped their wings, twinkling beautifully, and gathered in the darkness, disappearing. Kanon continued speaking, directing his words at the darkness as it swallowed the butterflies up. But as the butterflies gathered in the darkness, they, perhaps, probably, no, they would certainly laugh. But Kanon continued to speak without faltering in the slightest. However, if you bet on something with a lower probability, your payoff increases proportional to the risk. The master called succeeding, despite an astronomical risk, a miracle. When called the astronomical payoff gained as a result, magic. I have no interest in what kind of magic you and the master were seeking when you spun that roulette. But you forgot something. You forgot that in roulette, there's a pocket that's neither black nor red. Red has a special pocket called 0, which means that the house takes everything in certain variants of the game. This means that all of the coins bet on the table will be swept up, just as though everyone has forfeit. I set my eyes on just one thing. They say that if Shannon were to be killed and I was left alive, I'll sacrifice this life of mine and bring this root of yours to ruin. Oh! He's breaking the riddle. He is ruining the riddle for everyone else. This isn't one of the master's rules, and it certainly isn't one of yours. I made this rule myself. I'm not furniture anymore. I'm just 0 on your roulette. Holy shit, Kanon based. I'm sorry, but I gotta immortalize this. I genuinely have to immortalize this. This is genuinely based. Give me a second. I'm gonna include the one-winged eagle. He deserves it. No, probably a bit too... Yes, I will. Okay. We're gonna reduce the size of this, but this deserves to be on here. The redimensioning went wrong. Give me a second. Resize. We're gonna do 30. A bit too low. Let's go with, I don't know, 60 instead. Okay, where do we place it? Where do we place it? I guess here. Right? And with some complementary dialogue or text. Here we go. And how do I make it go in the center? Actually, wait. Let me write it a bit better. Here we go. Perfect. Below the indicator zone. You're right. You're right. You're so right for this. Wait. I gotta use freeform selection then. Oops. No. Go back. Here we go. Here we go. Very important to note that down. The shot is looking good the more time passes. That's great. Love it. Okay, back to it. I'm the 0 on your roulette. Kanon's face twisted with humiliation. It was clear that his defiance against his own weaknesses was being ridiculed somehow. Kanon's brow creased even further, and a fierce expression that he'd never shown to anyone appeared on his face. The end grasping the hatchet was shaking. His sweat became drops, which slid downwards. It was clear that the emotion causing Kanon's hand to shake wasn't just anger. However, Kanon suppressed that emotion. I won't let your words lead me astray again. This is where the demon's roulette ends. Wait another 1,000 years in hell for your next summoner. Beatrice! Oh my god. This guy is based. I did not see how cool he is. Holy shit. Kanon raised the hatchet and tried to dive into the darkness. The darkness definitely steered. His need had that courage as if it were vulgar, lazy, futile, and meaningless. Or farming. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Jesus. The sound is getting stronger. What the fuck was that sound? Kanon, is that shit still held aloft? Couldn't take another step after that. With a clang, the shit that had been grasping fell and rolled on the floor. And following that, with a pair of thuds, Kanon's knees hit left then right. That end, which looked like it was trying to catch the sky, no, that the hatchet had dropped, gradually lowered, landing on his chest. And the other end did the same. What? Right there, a handle with demon-shaped design was buried into his chest. The same type of weapon that had been stabbed into Eva and Deoshi's forehead was in Kanon's chest. Beatrice is real? Isn't she invisible? What? Kenan was curled up in anguish, fresh blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. It was makeup too extreme for Kenan's white skin. Around this scene, the glittering gold butterflies danced through the darkness. Mesmerizing. It was a beautiful, beautiful dance. A funeral march of tribute, ridicule, and contempt for a single boy's self-sacrifice. Kenan had already been prepared for his own death. But although he could do nothing but accept the death he had received, he attempted one last measure of resistance. He grabbed the handle of the weapon sticking into his chest with both hands, and gritting his teeth with an acute, unearthly pain, he pulled it out. For only a moment, a bright red spray gushed out, made an unpleasant blop sound. Probably resembled the sound of Kenan's soul as it was sucked into the swamp of the dead.
Kanon-san?
Kanon-san? Someone! Himasawa screamed at the incomprehensible sight in front of her. Kenan was lying in a pool of blood. Kenan Misawa saw it was a complete mess. Ah, what a horrible fate. He wouldn't have been killed if I had been with him. Ah, what incredible luck. If I had been with him, I might have been killed too. She screamed. Her expression was filled with complete confusion, and all of the muscles in her face were pulled up, almost as though she was smiling while crying. But no one could have made fun of an expression like this. What is it, Kumasawa? Answer me, Kumasawa! The first one to dash in was Natsui, holding the rifle. Butler and Genji dashed in after her. Normally, they probably would have started discussing the origin of that violent stench filling the boiler room. But after they saw Kenan, who was lying on the ground, as if he were drowning in an ocean of his own blood, the stench wasn't important anymore. Kenan! Answer me! Genji, bring Dr. Danger here! As she realized that even though Kenan was on the verge of death, he was still conscious, so she sent Genji to get the doctor. Natsui, holding the rifle aloft, faced the darkness in the center of the boiler room and shouted, "Who's hiding over there? Come out right away! If you don't come out from there, I'll shoot without mercy! We need light! Oh, Natsui, let's light them up!" Butler, thinking quickly, took a large flashlight from the tall shelf alongside the door and used its light to cut through the darkness that Sui was glaring into. The light only shone on mechanical-looking piping and the door. The door had been left open a small crack, and was obvious that someone had left through there in a hurry. Natsui, where did that door go? Genji, where does that door lead to? The courtyard. I can't let you get away, you dumb bastard! Butler let out a war cry as he slammed into the door. Cool air from outside suddenly rushed in. There were some thin, rough stairs leading up. Butler ran up them, shouting, "Wait, Butler! It's dangerous to be on your own right now!" Natsu was also rushing up the stairs, chasing after Butler. They were in the courtyard. The courtyard of the mansion had been built strictly for lighting purposes, so it wasn't a very elegant place. Because it was surrounded on all sides, the air was calm and completely undisturbed, even though they could hear the sound of strong winds. There was only the gentle, sorrowful rain. I don't know what to comment here. This shit is leaving me speechless. They ran through the cold and scattered raindrops, dashing up the stairs into the courtyard. Butler looked in every direction. Of course, the odds of finding a suspicious silhouette just standing around nonchalantly were pretty much zero. Butler spun looking all around, turned again and again, kept spinning until he almost lost his sense of direction. He prayed that he would see his culprit somewhere in the scenery, but there was no chance. All he saw as he spun was more and more of the mansion's outless walls and windows. Furthermore, there were two entrances into the mansion from the courtyard, and neither of them were locked. Because the courtyard couldn't be entered from outside the mansion, Doors had been built without locks. They didn't know which one they had left through. Do we get to choose? You had to give up. Butler pounded the wall with his fist, swearing. Butler, you must have run ahead by yourself. Butler-kun. Butler pressed his forehead against the wall, which he scratched at with his fingernails as he cried. Wait. Still not dead. Like, genuinely, I did not expect him to act like that. I'm not gonna lie. Genuinely impressive from Kanon. Genuinely impressive. Damn it, damn it! Oh, Evan and Hideyoshi. No, Kanon-kun! He killed a full 6 people! That was enough, so you had to kill 3 more! Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, Evan and Hideyoshi were always kind and fun. I just met Kanon yesterday, and I'm sure I've gotten along fine with him. Why did you kill them? Why? Why? You know, when people die, they don't come back to life again, right? They aren't gonna quickly throw up again like bamboo shoots. Why did you kill them? Why? Why? Butler was a boy who could understand the feelings of pain and regret in a person's heart. It has to be Kinzo. It has to be Kinzo. Genuinely, I do not see who else it could be besides Kinzo. Right? Like, who the fuck could it be? They were all together. They were all together. Besides Kinzo, unless it's a 19th person that they've been trying to make clear isn't on the table, because they want it to be like somewhat realistic, or at least they want it to be like an actual interesting murder mystery. The 19th person does not exist. So who the fuck could it be besides Kinzo? Kinzo is like fucking 80 years old. He does not have the stamina. Kinzo is not able to kill 9 people, right? Like, how the fuck does he do that? They cried with all his strength. Natsuri, who had always thought of Butler as a frank person, was a little surprised to find he had this delicate side. And at the same time, she understood how easily hurt the heart of a young person could be, so she held him. It's alright. We'll definitely protect you. George, Maya, and Jessica. As a mother, and as a representative of the Ushiromiya family. I mean, I would not putting Jessica last, yeah, but I would not say, it's not like she forgot, she just listed people. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it indicates anything, in my opinion. If I was Jessica and I heard this, I would not have taken it badly. Butler, after sobbing into Natsuri's chest for a while, wiped his tears with a bitter smile, as though he had been like that the whole time, and tried to appear as though he cried more than enough already. Anyway, let's go back down for now. Protecting ourselves is a higher priority than finding the culprit. Tomorrow, the boat will arrive. If that happens, the police will come and everything should be brought to light. There's no way the culprit can escape this island, no matter how much they struggle. That's right. When the police come, the seagulls cry. The crime will be solved. But for some reason, Battler felt a slight sense of uneasiness, as if seagulls would never cry again. That couldn't be true. When stifling passes, surely the lively seagulls will return to the arbor again. I returned to the boiler room along with Aunt Natsui, told everyone weekly that we hadn't found anything. We heard that Dr. Nanjo and George had carried Kanon into the servant room. The servant room had a first aid kit and a sink. Could apparently function as a nurse's office. Did he die? Kumasawa and Jessica had accompanied them. Stains from Kanon blood remained on the floor. Judging by the large amount of blood lost and the ruthless shape of the weapon that had fallen carelessly to the ground, figured that Dr. Ninja's treatment would probably end in vain. Yeah. I think he's still alive, right? He's still conscious. He's on the verge and he's not gonna last. That weapon was doubtlessly the same type that had been stuck in Eva and Nikoi Yoshi's forehead. Is that person just carrying like 20 of them around on themselves? How could they have predicted Kanon rushing at them with a hatchet? I would have assumed that like a big weapon like this, they can't carry it in their pockets. They have to have a bag, right, of some sort. It's not possible to carry those in their pocket, or like at least 3 of those, maybe more. This is weird. But wait, is the Dominic sign on the handle a little different? There seem to be some small differences in that part. Still, as far as the overall shape was concerned, weapons were all of the same type. Though it had seemed brutal, we'd left the weapon stuck into Onteva and Uncle Hideyoshi to preserve the crime scene. So this was the first time we were able to have a perfect view of the entire weapon. As you would have expected, the weapon was not bladed like a knife, but shaped like a knife pick. Or rather, a thin scape. And that a spiral-shaped pattern, sort of like a drill. It looked like something that might be driven to the hearts of human sacrifices in some demonic ritual. Fucking hell, I got hiccups. Oh my god. Including the handle, it was 25 centimeters long. More than enough to pierce a head. Okay. Half of that was a stake-shaped part, which was stained with deep red blood. Okay, the 12.5. It's still a lot. Still enough to like completely pierce the skull. The none of the blood-stained part made it clear just how deeply it must have penetrated into Kanon Shun's chest. But Natsui and the rest didn't even look at the weapon, and instead stood in front of the incinerator, where the horrible stench was emanating from. They must have dragged it out. That thing which had been burning into the furnace. It was still smoldering, kept sending out dense waves. It's Kinzo. Genji and Maria sat down at it. Natsui probably couldn't stand to look directly at it. She kept shaking her head, or back to it. I thought nothing could surprise me after everything that happened. But this is... there for a while, moaning. What? With a rising urge to vomit. True source of that unearthly stench was a scorched corpse that had been cooking inside the incinerator. The clothes, the surface of the body, and the hair were all hideously burnt. The grotesque corpse was in a state where not the face, nor the age, nor even the gender could be guessed at. But when I thought about it calmly, I realized that the corpse appearing at this time could only be one person. His grandfather, who had disappeared this morning, and whose whereabouts had been unknown. I believe this most likely is master. I agree that he would pass away in such a state. It's heartrending. Okay, wait, let me see what throwing knife you mean. No, it's too small. Wait, no, it's 24 centimeters. Let me look at the review. They have a review. That's pretty fucking big, actually. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. We're probably gonna show a visual of it. We'll see. It's kind of marked officially as dead yet. No idea. Nope. Nope. Performs his duty silently and diligently, but is not so highly regarded as a servant. Yeah, and he's like the extremely based. Like the most base character we've seen so far. You usually come back as soon as you get angry. Usually. But it's very proved that Scorp really is grandfather. It's burned so black you can't even tell what sex it is. Baller, look at the feet. On Natsui, her anxious sheaf over her mouth and her eyes averted. Pointed, told me to look at the burned corpse's feet. Huh? Notice over our 6 toes on each foot. What? Huh? Oh, right. Just as Genji had said, there were 6 toes on each foot. Each individual toe had looked normal in its line that I hadn't noticed. The master was born with 6 toes on both of his feet. Consequently, the master was entrusted with a rival. Consequently. What? What do you mean, consequently? Does having 6 toes mean that you get entrusted with a rival? Let him cook indeed. However, that since long ago, cases of polydactyly were common in the Ushirimiya family. It's probably hereditary. Huh. Polydactyly literally means many figures. Because of a little mistake by God, when a person is born, one of their toes or fingers splits into 2 and the total number increases. But the big deal isn't usually made of polydactyly in the world at large. That's because it isn't a disease, just something people are born with. So while they are still babies, at about the time they turn 1 year old, they can be taken to the hospital and given surgery to make them normal. Even a child with polydactyly can be treated before they become aware, so they might not even remember it themselves. By the way, it seems that there's a possibility for this to occur in 1 out of every 2,000 babies. Even though it's not usually seen, it isn't that rare at all. Speaking of which, I think Uncle Hideyoshi mentioned something to me long ago. Something about, even Toyomi Hideyoshi, the man who unified Japan at the end of the Sengoku period, has 6 fingers on one hand. According to Natsui, among the many Ushirimiya family heads, the ones most praised for wisdoms all had polydactyly. Huh. Because of that, when grandfather was born, his relatives were all excited at the thought that he might become another wise leader. And when the leading relatives all died in the Grand Grunto earthquake, it was apparently argued that grandfather should be the one to restore the family, because of the auspicious sign of his birth. Oh, okay. Okay. If grandfather didn't dislike his position as he had so much, the 6th toe probably would have been pretty lucky for him. Come to think of it, I've heard about some country where it's believed people with polydactyly should be treated as gods and revered. This is beside the point, but it's fairly common in mystery novels for a corpse to be burnt to hide its identity. But I guess that in grandfather's case, just toasting it wouldn't be enough. And grandfather's body was not simply burnt. Oh my god. Oh my god. Burnt in the incinerator, with a weapon resembling an ice pick sticking out his forehead. The old sorcerer wish vanished before it could be granted. He always knew that there was one possible result of this risky gamble. Good God. Good God indeed. It was just like Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi, and the thing that had been stabbed into Kanon Q's chest. One of those demon's ice picks was stuck into his forehead. Ed's ring is not on his finger. The letter last night was telling us the truth. Father, we'd probably be horribly disappointed. And the sweet little Ed drooped and closed her eyes tightly. This room had also become a vital crime scene for us to hand over to the police. It was decided that we would leave grandfather's corpse here and lock the room, stealing it. It isn't clear when grandfather's corpse started burning in the incinerator, since, according to Genji, the strength of the flame hadn't been that long. The bunny must have started burning a long time ago. In the morning! My god! So it is possible someone pushed him out the window. But wait, what? That doesn't fit with the clues at all. What? Well, I mean, maybe... Yeah, maybe... It doesn't matter how many extra kills there are, as long as there's, like, the one event happening. If there's 2 kills, but the one event still happens, then it works. So that stench could slowly creep out of the furnace and fill the room bit by bit. Look at Kinzo's description. I don't see it? What do you mean? Well, I don't see it. Yeah, sticking out his forehead. Yeah. He was killed with it. But like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I mean... Okay, Mal. I'm sorry, I appreciate your intent to help. But I would have preferred to find that one out on my own. Cause like, now it makes sense, but now you kind of spoiled me the solution. Yeah, but this is the second Twilight, but it turns out that it's not, the Twilight refers to the amount of events, or something similar. Still, I just... Canadian. I would have appreciated you not telling me that. That does make me sad. Just... Oh well. Anyways. It's all over. Yeah, it's all over. Putting aside whether he was rare or well done, shut the fuck up. Grandfather had been brought out, killed and burnt, even though he had started locked away in the closed room created by his autolock. There's probably no doubting this. However, according to Genji-san, the border room is usually locked. The possibility that someone outside the group had snuck in and committed the crime was overwhelmingly high. And there was also a good chance that this person was walking around with something like a master key. After all, the doors and windows throughout the mansion had been checked. But despite that, the culprit was able to strut around the mansion freely. Does this crime confirm that a 90th person exists? But still, that contradiction, since they're trying to tout their existence without ever showing themselves once. No longer Kiri-san's chessboard theory, but using this contradiction to deny the existence of a 90th person. So unless Kinzo staged a CIA suicide, that throws my theories out of the window. Yeah, it does too. I don't see how it could be them. By spinning the chessboard around once more, the very fact that this crime makes it perfectly obvious that a 90th person exists means that the existence of the 90th person is even less plausible. As long as that 90th person doesn't show themselves in front of us, If the culprit could get grandfather out through the door sealed by the receipt. If they could kill Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi from the other side of the door, sealed by a chain. Then could they possibly go as far as to create a fictional banshee person through strange tricks and devices? Yeah. If we still want to believe that the culprit is among the 18, then the list of suspect has grown very short. The four of his kids, Natsui, Genji-san, Kumasawa, and Dr. Nanjo. One of these people has to be the culprit. Wait, we can't be sure of that. Just a second ago, we started doubting whether the corpse here was actually grandfather's, right? Maybe we can think of the other bodies in the same way. What? For example, the first six all had their faces horribly smashed. Some of his bodies had kept enough of faces for us to confirm who they were. But that old bastard, for example. Yeah. Yeah, those... Was that the reason? I thought it was poison. I lost his entire face, so the whole thing had been neatly peeled off. We only figured out which body was which by clothes and their surroundings. The culprit prepared a fake body beforehand and altered it to make it look like they died. That is just, okay, and it's very smart if you consider, like, fucking extreme reach. Very smart. This is such a reach. This is so implausible and stupid. It can't be that. There's no fucking way the corpses were fake all along. Where the fuck would you get the extra people? Because they died recently. Like, they mentioned it. They died recently, like at least, at most, a day ago. At most. Even though they were actually hiding somewhere after committing the crime. Oh! No, okay! One of the dead... He's saying that one of the dead people could have faked their own death. One of those three. That is not a stupid idea, actually. Kinzo is absolutely confirmed, but... This is not stupid. And Gura looks like any other guy. But again, who could know about Jessica and the charm? It could still be one of the ones leaving. It's just saying it's the theory. Yeah, those are certain. Hideyoshi and Eva are also dead 100%. Because you can still identify their face pretty easily. Kinzo is dead 100% because you can still see his toes. Wait. 1, 2, 3. No, wait. 1, 2, 3. And maybe 4. They all died during the night, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you include 2 of them. This would mean that one of them is alive. But he didn't die. When did Natsui meet with him? Was it on the morning? Or was it like during the evening last night? I'm not sure. But also, how the fuck is this possible? How the fuck? No, wait. Oh, is it even possible for the series to continue? There's no fucking way. There's 10 episodes with so many people dying in a row. It's just the first episode. Is there gonna be like a reset? There has to be. There has to be. Is the owner of the key gonna change across every different reset? We'll see. We'll see. It's too early to give it to this 90 person. No, this witch. Maya-chan, he must have tests to fix a bee anymore. Come on, Butler. I'm worried about Kanon condition. He mustn't remain in a place like this any longer than necessary. Let us return. Maya didn't go out with everyone else, but remained in the boiler room. The thing she was staring so fixedly at probably wasn't grandfather's body, but the demon's ice pick sticking out of his forehead was probably the sort of item that an enthusiast couldn't bear to ignore. Tapped her on the head. Hey, Maria! What's Beatrice after? The door of our lives? Beatrice will revive very soon. At that time, no one shall be left alive. How can you laugh at something like that? Do you think you're the only one who's safe? Don't you feel like you're in danger? Why are you scared? Yeah? Yeah, I don't see why she's so confident. Is there something like, why is she so certain? Beatrice made a promise. She said she's gonna take me to the Golden Land. It's a wonderful place where you have no obligation. Everyone's always together, and everyone is always nice to everyone else. She's sending you to heaven. Maria. She's gonna kill you. I'm looking forward to it. That time will come very soon now. What? What kind of person is Maria? What is happening to her? I only know what Maria was like 6 years ago when she was free. She was once pure and obedient, a good kid. This new Maria 6 years later, and the Maria I knew, didn't seem to fit together. Yet who is she? This witch who calls herself Maria. To Maria, who obstinately believes in a witch. The series of unsolvable crimes is proof that the witch actually exists. Every time something occurs that would be difficult for a human, it becomes a little harder for the rest of us to not believe in Beatrice. Right. Those who remain shall praise my noble name. And there must be an intense pleasure for Maria to see her relatives, who once firmly denied the witch's existence. Without acknowledging that witch's existence one by one. Is that why she's in high spirits? Maria. Let me ask this one more time. You'll probably answer the same anyway, but ask just once more. Yesterday, you were given a letter in the Rose Garden. Who gave it to you? Like I said, Beatrice. Butler still doesn't believe. Manuel repeated what she had already said. Maria met with the 19th person, the witch. Was that really a 19th person? Or did one of the 18 just gather to say that? All that's certain is that Maria has been with the rest of us constantly, has always had an alibi, and hasn't done anything suspicious. Maria could not have killed anyone. What? Why are you suspecting her? She's 9. She's not gonna kill Eva at 9 years old. Calm down, Butler. Calm down. Please. Stop spouting nonsense. I beg you. She's simply overjoyed at being made Beatrice's messenger. Certainly isn't the 19th person. Supposedly. I don't know, 9 years old, they're crazy. Exactly, Safik, exactly. That's right. I wonder what's written in the letter we picked up in Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi's room. Oh, Natsume should still have it with her. I want to stop after reading the letter. I should have stopped earlier, but I want to stop after reading the letter. In the end, Kanon did not regain consciousness. Even though the doctor and Andrew's rest did all they could to heal him. Found in the boiler room, a weapon resembling an ice pick sticking out of his chest. Going the single chapter per stream now. Yeah, it's taking a while. Found in the boiler room with a weapon resembling an ice pick sticking out of his chest. Or presumptuous of lowly furniture like that. Yeah, I don't know who's writing those extra comments. Anyways. Of course, there was very little that could be done on an island like this without medicine or proper facilities. However, Kanon was the only human ever to confront the culprit. If only he could give us some kind of clue. However, at the time to carry Kanon away, it was already... I mean... He took out the ice pick. That was for some... He had a reason for doing that. There must have been a reason for him to take out the ice pick as his last dying move. Did he want us to analyze the ice pick? Was there something special about it? However, at the time they carried Kanon away, it was already too late. My sincere apologies. With proper facilities, there was nothing I could do about such serious wounds. No, that's perfectly understandable. Thank you so much for giving it your very best. Dr. Nanzu's shirt had been sprayed by a violent spurt of blood. It was easy to imagine the devotion with which he had tried to save Kanon's life. Up until the last second. Jessica was crouched in the corridor, crying softly. She had probably been taking care of Kanon-kun until the moment of his death. George tried to approach her with words of comfort, but when Jessica pushed him away, he stopped trying to force her to talk and left her alone. She's hiding all the blood she has on her clothes. If only I didn't let Kanon-san go alone. Oh. Do not let that bother you. If you had been with him, you would have probably been attacked as well. He foolishly rushed on ahead and paid for his mistake. How can you say it like that? Kanon spotted the culprit and bravely stood up to them. If only Kumasawa had gone with him, the culprit might have hesitated and chosen to run away. The emotion felt worse, and I never thought I'd hear something from Jessica's mouth tumbled out. Kumasawa, looking truly sorry, could do nothing but hang her head. Yeah, I mean, I would agree if only Jessica wasn't the culprit. Jessica. You shouldn't talk to her now. It's the same for me. Probably you as well, right, Badler-kun? We don't know what's going on, and it feels like our hearts are going to split open. There were tears in George's eyes again. Since seeing Jessica break down crying probably put back the pain of losing his parents, I'd done my crying all at once, so I didn't feel like crying anymore. However, I understood how great the pain in their hearts was. Yeah, I feel incredibly sorry for George here. It's okay, Jessica. You'll be able to meet Kanon again soon. Stop it! I don't need you trying to console me like that. Beatrice will resurrect the dead, and even love that has been lost. You'll definitely be able to meet him soon. Everyone will be able to live in peace. This was the one who killed Kanon, Ken. Beatrice who supposedly gave you that letter yesterday? Where is she? Where's she hiding? In front of us. I'll find her and tear her apart. Tell me, you know who the culprit really is, don't you? What do you know and what are you hiding? Tell me, damn it! Milady, please stop. Yeah, this exists. And let go of me, Genji-san. Marion knows who the culprit is. And she's hiding very intently, even though she knows. I mean, yeah, she is. And then music and then screaming. What? What do you mean? She must be telling them what we're doing, getting them as they kill us. It is possible. Jessica, be silent! Jessica grabbed at Maria. Genji tried to stop her, but Jessica could not be calmed. Also, Fufu, yeah, I forgot. The next thing I heard was a sound of Natsui slapping Jessica's face. Deserved, she was trying, like, Maria is weird, but she's trying to... She's acting quite violent against Maria here. That slap is deserved. The first one, if she gives more, that's too much. But like, when you stop to be violent with the kids, you do need a slap to wake you up, so you stop like beating up a kid. You know, I feel like that's a pretty good like situation to do that. I hope Battler picks up the rifle soon. Same. Maria, I know there's no way you're the culprit. You've been with us in the beginning, and was no time for you to communicate with any culprit. I want you to tell me something. This Beatrice one that used letter yesterday. Who was she? Those words were kind. We clearly showed that George still had some remaining doubt about Maria. He didn't actually grab at her, but very fixed exactly the same way Jessica did. Aniki. I already asked her the same thing a second ago. Her answer was the same as before. I want to hear it from Maria's mouth. Who is Beatrice? Even if I told you, you wouldn't believe anyway. Maria! Fucking tell us! What do you mean by that? Could it be the culprit someone we know well? And you're keeping silent because you keep covering for them for some reason? Who gave you that letter? I got it from Beatrice. I said it no matter how many times you ask. But the letter from Beatrice. George, you refuse to believe in Beatrice because she's not an opponent you can hate. You want to turn your feeling of helplessness into violence and beat someone up. So you won't be satisfied unless your opponent is a human you can hit. Even if I tell you the truth, you won't accept it. It's pointless for me to tell you. You won't believe. But I keep on saying it. Because it's true. Beatrice exists. The door to the Golden Land will still be open. I'll go there. Beatrice promised. In that world, Mama is nice. Papa is with us and is also nice. I want to go in there right away. Everyone is afraid of Beatrice. But that's only natural. Calm yourselves. Beatrice said so herself. By the time the typhoon has passed, I've ended everything, she said. Oh. So the typhoon is ending tomorrow. Yeah, I don't mind you being talkative. Let's leave it at that for now. I'll bet this is all a pretty happy situation for you, since you're always going on about how witches exist. But keep that to yourself for now. Don't try to force that on other people. Wait. didn't they say that the design on the dagger that the killer of Kanon used was different from the one in Eva Hideyoshi? Were there multiple situations where two people were together but separated from the rest of the group? There were multiple. Wait! If there's two people, it would be possible to explain a lot of those situations. Would it? Would it? If there are two people working together, who could it be? Right? It's impossible for there to be one person because everyone has always been in tandem with someone else. Jessica, Butler, and the rest have always been together the entire time. So, could it be like then during the time where the crime against Hideyoshi and Eva was committed, Hideyoshi, no, Genji and Nanjo and Kumasawa were in the same room. And Kanon, if I'm not wrong. The three of them were... There's the four of them, along with Natsui. Those were two groups of people, so... No, it's not even possible. No, okay, I don't know. I do not know. I know, I've been creeped out by this girl for a while now. But there really is something wrong with her. Don't you think so too, Battler? Genji-san? Kumasawa? What about you, Mom? Maria knows who's culprit and she's hiding it. She said something about, oh, you won't believe her. Because the person is dead? Already? That would be a reason why we wouldn't believe her. Because the culprit is already dead. Is it? It has to be a girl. Is it Kiri? I doubt Rosa would do it. Wait. I'm wondering. It has to be a woman. I think it might be Kiri. But I don't see what motive she would have to kill Rudolph. Because like... Wait, no. No, if both of them are alive... wait. Oh, okay. Let's go back to the closed room. Let's assume that instead of being one person trying to enter the room, what if there was two? One that was already hiding inside the room, inside the bathroom, for example, or somewhere else, and one outside. Or for some reason, someone just, you know, has to open, right? But then, how would someone get out? Even if there were 2 people, how would someone manage to get out of this? Right? That's the real question here. How does someone get out? I don't fucking know. I do not. I'm at a loss. I'm genuinely at a loss. I do not have the big brain necessary to understand. Okay, maybe she hasn't done anything directly, but she's definitely working with a criminal. That's right, she's a spy. We can't let her stay with us any longer. Maria, you must realize there are times when discreet discussion is best avoided. If you keep adding oil to the fire, even I will get very angry. Oh, Natsui glared at Maria with frightening eyes. Maria was used to Aunt Rosa's loud style of scolding, but she apparently hadn't built up a resistance to Aunt Natsui's quiet sort of scolding. She shrugged and kept her mouth shut. A desolate feeling filled the room. It felt as though things would just get more complicated if anyone spoke. How many people have already died? 9. No, 10. 6 people in that group. After that, both Edva and Uncle Hideyoshi, Kanon-kun, grandfather. There were a whole 18 people on this island, and 10 of those people have been killed. That's more than half of us. And right now, there's absolutely no proof that the remaining 8 people will be safe. At any rate, this is no time to quarrel. Give me a second, it bugged. Okay, here we go. Now that we are certain, the culprit can enter and leave the mansion at will and strike out of nowhere. We must give our undivided attention to surviving until tomorrow. I agree strongly with Natsui. We can figure out who the culprit is at our leisure tonight. For now though, we're better off finding a place to barricade ourselves in. As I said this, I pointed out the clock to everyone. It was already 8 at night. We had been receiving shocks over and over again since the early morning. And our bodies and minds were completely tired out. There's still a long time until tomorrow. We needed to find some place to barricade ourselves in, so we could rest our bodies, get even the smallest amount of relief. I agree. Everyone is already pushing their mental and physical limits, myself included. I believe it would be wise to take that into account as we move forward. That's right. There's a high probability that the enemies got the equivalent of Master Key. Where's Shannon, Kanon-kun, and Goda-san holding Master Keys? Yes, they were supposed to have them on their person during work. We didn't want to disturb the scene, so we didn't investigate that closely. We can eliminate the possibility that someone stole a key from them. In the first place, we know the culprit may have visited the servant room at some point to unlock the garden shed shutter. It's conceivable that they obtained a master key from there early on. There are many servants serving the Ishiramiya family. Because of that, there were several master keys. Furthermore, every time one employee started or finished working, the keys were passed between servants. And we had to acknowledge that this had probably gotten a bit sloppy at times past. Even if we borrowed the bottom keys from the pockets of one of the murdered servants, is there any safe place that even those keys couldn't open? Because of the nature of our job, we've been entrusted with keys to all of the rooms. No! Kinzo's study. Kinzo's study. All of them mentioned in the guest house. In other words, no matter where we all up and lock ourselves in, it'll just be pointless. Fine, who cares about locking up? If you're gonna come, bring it on, damn it. I'll beat you at your own game. The enemy won't approach us from the front. I don't know about the first 6, but if we look at what happened to their parents in KANON, and even grandfather, the enemy has only gone after isolated people. They don't have the power to assault all of us openly in a secure room. That's right. It's just like Aniki said. And maybe on Natsui's rifle can serve as a deterrent to stop them from attacking. I hope that is so, but... Maria, I know you want to say something, but keep it to yourself and stay quiet for a while. Ooh. Maria probably will say something about old witches who aren't afraid of things like guns. But if you were to say it out loud, the atmosphere around here would start to get pretty edgy. I had noticed and decided to put a stop to it. If I may, I do know of just one place that cannot be entered, even with the servant key rings. I do too. Where is that? That would be the master's study. I'm against this! I don't even want to think about going in grandfather's creepy room. How many keys can get access to that room? There are 2. I always have one on my person. The other was held by the master himself, but just now, I found this on the corpse in the boiler room. Genji took Renko's sheath out of his pocket and opened it, showing us a burned and filthy study key. Then he showed it alongside his own key, which he had once lent to Natsui. Normally, it would not be proper to leave the master's key for the police. Because of the master's order to protect the safety of the study, I borrowed it for the time being. See, which means that Kinzo's study is the only place where he can be safe. It would appear that way. I don't even want to think about being shut up in that strange room at night. But it appears we must acknowledge that his room is safer than anywhere else right now. Even the grandfather locked himself up in that safe room. The culprit brought him up and killed him. Or he left himself, don't forget. We can be certain that it's truly safe. According to your theory, grandfather cleverly found a way around the retreat and left the room of his own free will. If so, the room might be a good place to barricade ourselves in after all. You're too optimistic, brother. However, at the same time, I thought he brought up a pretty interesting point. After all, it gives us a chance to question the enemy, the witch herself, about how the cell door had been opened. If we assume the culprit used some technique to kidnap grandfather from his study, they'd have to show us the same trick again if they wanted to assault us in the study. And that give us a chance to make the culprit prove how they did it right before our eyes. If she's really a witch, we'll be forcing her to use her little magic trick to open the door right in front of us. But that's probably impossible. If we spin the chessboard around, it's obvious the culprit is acting in a way that'll make us think they're a witch. Yeah, absolutely. If she really is a witch, all she's gotta do is appear in front of us and wow us with a colorful display of magic. Since she's avoided doing that, everything must be the work of a fake witch who wants us to think she's real. Therefore, a culprit will use the technique other than magic to defeat the closed room couldn't open the door before our eyes. Lockpicking? Other than magic? How? What mattered about the ice pick so much that KANON, in his dying breath, decided to take it out? Why did he take it out? It's a drill. It's shaped like a drill. They could drill a hole. Like, not necessarily in the wall, but like on the door. Or I don't fucking know, on the window. Or something. But like, it's shaped like a drill, and he wanted us to see that. That's why he took it out. That's why it mattered. I wonder how the drill fits, right? Let me write that. Give me a second. Alright. I think that's really important to note down. Before a culprit, we use the technique over the magic to defeat the closed room. Could we open the door before our eyes? If grandfather's room big enough to stop 8 people in? Yes. There is a bed, a sofa and blankets, so while it is not luxurious, it will be more than suitable for spending the night. There is also a sink, a bathroom, a refrigerator and a liquor cabinet. Wow, incredible. Isn't that weird? Is Tangy built another house inside his house? Pretty cramped for the lifestyle of someone like your grandfather, who bought a whole island and realized all of his dreams. That's right. After some point in time, Father probably couldn't feel at peace in any other place, even inside the mansion. We always sneered about how he shut himself up in there, and this time, we're the ones who are gonna shut ourselves up. Just guess pat the words out. Jessica, sounds like you'd rather go search for the culprit than stay shut up somewhere. I want to stay until they read the fucking letter. Of course, I don't think we'll be able to find them if we just start searching on our own. In the end, we can't do anything but wait. And it doesn't matter where we wait, does it? I'm not gonna run away or hide. Why don't we just take it easy in the parlor? Watch a TV or something while we wait for this Beatrice to appear. Jessica is trying to bait everyone to stay in a dangerous position. Do people not realize that? It's perfectly fine if she doesn't appear. There's no need for us to be the ones who expose the culprit. Yeah, absolutely. Well said. We shouldn't take needless risks before the police arrive. Thank you, Dr. Nenjo. I think we should move to Father's study. Sure, we have no proof that it's safe. The Father was taken out of there. However, I can't deny the possibility that the bed can resent. Grandfather left the study of his own accord and was attacked outside. A while back, I proposed that change. Okay, you already said that. Yeah, unless you knew the receipt. Okay. Lebanon pointed out that spot was clear how absurd the theory was. So does that mean the sealed door from a closed room, just that old Eva claimed? Is that an undeniable fact that Onatsu was a culprit? If old Eva were here right now, she'd probably make that claim openly and blow my strange theory away. But anyway, I had to admit that a room with both a bed and a toilet that all 8 people could be shut up in. With only 2 keys, both of which were gathered here, would be the safest place in the mansion right now. At the very least. I figured this would be better than just staying shut up in the parlor and hoping nothing would go wrong. But wait, have we been safe only because we've been shut up in the parlor? What if leaving that room and moving to an unexplored location is actually more dangerous? Ah, it's useless, it's useless, it's all useless. My flinty head is about to break out in a feather. If I keep spinning the chessboard around, right and wrong, with his switching places over and over, I won't be able to believe anything. When it seems like Ray is one of the 18, I want to believe in Beatrice. And once I start believing in Beatrice, but I start wanting to find the culprit amid the 18. If that keeps spinning around forever, in the end, My thoughts would have taken one step from where they started. How far back in the past was it that Kiri-san taught me about chessboard thinking? A day or so. That concept of examining the situation by spinning it around and thinking of the enemy side. And to remember being so interested by it back then, I used it to guide all my thinking. By the way, Kiri-san was Dad's co-worker back then. Never dreamed that she'd someday be a debt to her family. Oh, 4 years ago. No, 6 years. Didn't Kiri-san tell me something once? I get the feeling she once said that, while this chessboard thinking was one way to look at things, it certainly wasn't all-powerful, and it wouldn't be good to rely on it too much. Chessboard thinking is my own interpretation of something called game theory, which I read about in the book long ago. It's a very interesting subject, so you should tackle it yourself when you get into college, Butlerkin. I really want to try it. If I could study and perfect my chessboard thinking, it'd be fun to be able to read into any opponent's moves, wouldn't it? But you can't believe in it blindly. Game theory is a very deep and complicated subject. Chessboard thinking is just my interpretation that skims the surface of game theory. In order to thoroughly read your opponent's moves like you're imagining, you need to study your opponent. Additionally, while chessboard theory is convenient and practical, it isn't perfect. It has many weak points despite its convenience. Weak points? Yes! Chessboard thinking is founded upon game theory. When you thoroughly investigate game theory, it boils down to math. Do you know what the weak point of math is? It's noise. Yeah. Life, when you write 1 + 1 = 2, the process will always result in 1 + 1 = 2, no matter how many billions of years pass. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, I do know this. That makes sense. It's because there's absolutely no noise mixed in. But for example, the Japanese language has noise mixed in. Kanji are a good example. Old kanji and new kanji are slightly different. Yeah, it's going on about names again. We represent an introduction of noise created by the changes between time periods. Isn't history the same? There are dozens of policies that seem foolish in the modern era, but were meaningful at some point in the past. Because the rules of chess are fixed, when a pair of experts are discussing one particular layout, it's possible they could reach the same conclusions, whether they're from 100 years in the past, or 100 years in the future. However, if the rules of chess had gone through massive changes over time, it's possible that the discussion about the same layout would have changed as well. That's right. Events in the world of humans are normally full of noise. Aren't humans' emotions that way? Thank you for reminding me, Polopro. My throat is burning, and every time I kept thinking I should drink, but I kept forgetting. BRB. Alright, I'm here. I'm here and back. Here we go. I saw your voice was getting raspy. yeah, it's slowly getting raspier. Slowly. It's because I've been talking for like 3 hours 30. But I want to see this fucking letter. Why don't they let us read it? That's right. Events in the world of humans are normally full of noise. Aren't human emotions that way? Even the exact same thing occurs more than once, there's no guarantee that humans will always act in a predictable fashion. The moment we try to use a math-based theory to predict someone's actions, we must be aware that the theory has built-in weaknesses and limits. Simply put, chessboard thinking is extremely weak against noise and fickleness, as well as mistakes, or incorrect knowledge. Yeah, if you don't consider a certain tool, then you would not be able to predict. That's right. Kirisan definitely said that. This has always been a game where both sides play by the same rules and fight within conditions for victory. That's why it's possible for both sides to predict the other's moves. It's possible to read your opponent because you can always suppose they'll make the best moves they can find. But what if your opponent is fickle or a bit tired and makes a move that can only be called the best? What do you mean? Or what if this game actually has a special rule? Some unknown thing that only the enemy knows about and can use. Yeah, like the ice pick. In fact, what if the opponent actually has some goal other than victory? I'm gonna stop soon, like once he finishes his expose. Think from your enemy's perspective. That's the basis of chessboard thinking. Which means, if you misread your enemy, the answer you draw from this process will be complete rubbish. Useless. So far, I've used chessboard theory to guess several vague bits of information about the culprit hiding behind this case. Or so I think. However, I don't know anything about the culprit. Am I just playing around in a labyrinth of thought? What just flashed on my screen there? Something flashed on screen. If Kiri-san were here at a time like this, was it just a air strand? Probably was. You'd probably be able to notice something with a much sharper thinking ability. Until the very last moment, Jessica resisted moving into grandfather's study. But in the end, Natsui persisted and we decided to move there. Everyone was completely wrapped in paranoia by now. Kumasawa had prepared dinner at one point, but during the time we were discovering the deaths of George, both the kitchen and the parlor had been left empty. Someone suggested that the food might have been poisoned while we were gone. Because of that, we were unable to even touch the food that Kumasawa had taken the trouble to make for us. Yeah, that's a good point. The manner in which the first 6 were killed was still unknown, but it certainly could have been poisoned. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Certainly, it would allow even a single person to carry out the murder of 6 large adults. Furthermore, this idea made it easy to imagine there being only a single culprit who wouldn't be afraid of Natsui's rifle. And this was very good for our emotional stability. But the fatigue and hunger were even harsher than we imagined. Then, Kumasawa made a proposal, and we all went together to the kitchen. There, we gathered some canned food and other things that'd be hard to poison to take in with us. All of Kumasawa's efforts to reward us with just a little dinner on this savage day regrettably came to nothing. Yeah, poor woman, poor grandma. The food piled up on the serving cart looked just a little sad. We all started climbing the stairs. Old Natsui was in the lead, warily stared into the darkness with both eyes and the barrel of the gun. Once we dragged ourselves to the 3rd floor, just as Aunt Natsui had warned us of beforehand. There was a mixture of a chemical smell and a sickly sweet aroma, a stench in the air. It was eating in our heads. What? What? I see. This kind of stench probably would give you a headache if you were shut in with it for a whole night. What do you mean? I know it's a little late, but I'm with Jessica. I was against going into grandfather's study. What? It felt like the stench was floating out from this magnificent door. It was the door to the forbidden study, which should defend against any who would enter. While Genji-san unlocked the door, Maria stood at the door and the doorknob. Great interest. There's someone hiding inside. They're gonna get attacked. Incredible door! It looks old and strict and like it stopped any jokes cold. Big door for grandfather's study.
ふさわしい扉だよな。
The power to ward off spiritual menaces is strong here. Beatrice probably couldn't open this door. Oh?
それどういうこ
What
と
does that mean? Maya pointed at the doorknob. Oh, it's the emerald and the scorpion. Right. The scorpion crest. No, a design like a magic circle arranged around a scorpion was inscribed here. The design. That's right. Isn't it just like those keychain charms Maya gave Jessica and me yesterday? The fifth magic circle of Mars is a strong war against magic. Definitely, this magic circle is very diligently constructed and is full of power. Such a magic circle can be quite troublesome to beings of magic like Beatrice. So, he's been hiding there to avoid Beatrice while wanting to steal her?
それは心強いじゃねえか。
Isn't that comforting? Are you saying we can escape even Beatrice's clutch in this room?
うちの
Oh,
魔女
little
様は
witchy sure is reliable.
なら
Then, how did Beatrice get grandfather
どうや
out?
って中のおじい様を
She says Bella reasoned. Beatrice can't go inside. However, she has both magic and familiars. Using them, she might have been able to get grandfather to leave the study of his own accord. What do you mean?
あ
Ah, I read about that in manga.
吸血鬼は
I've seen a bunch of scenes where vampires were frightened of crosses, so they couldn't get close.
使い魔たちはへっ
But
ちゃ
the
らなんで
familiars were just fine.
使い魔に
Maybe the
襲わせ
familiars
るみたい
attacked.
なシーンを読んだことがあるぜ
The scorpion keychain charms I gave you yesterday also had the fifth magic circle of Mars on them. The power dwelling within them was weak, but they should be enough to protect you until we leave the island. Yeah, but he threw it away. Although it sounds like you've lost yours, right? Scorpion keychain charms? Charm I gave you yesterday was something I got from Maria. I heard it would repel magic if you put it on your doorknob, and at the time, I thought maybe it'd be better if you had it. Is that so? Thought it was a nut thing for you to be carrying around. It's Jessica. It's Jessica. She had no reason to give it to her. Besides like wanting to be cute or whatever. She's implying that she knew there was a danger to her. Which she couldn't. She couldn't. She couldn't have known. Too late. No, wait. Here we go. Oh, wait. The fucking thing is not working as well as I wished. Here we go. Here we go. Or I could just make another one. Why am I doing this? Okay. As I said, right? Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Oh, let's see. Put that on the doorknob? Yes. Last night, after hearing about it from Jessica, I hung it from the doorknob on the inside of my door. No, actually, you're really fortunate. If you did that, Beatrice probably couldn't even lay a finger on you yesterday. I think Beatrice must have been really annoyed. It's so Jessica. It has to be Jessica. Beatrice? Annoyed? Couldn't lay one finger? Nasuri thought back on that eerie scribble she'd seen that morning. So someone had been tearing at the outside of a door with blood-soaked hands, and gasped in surprise. Could it be? that this witch who called herself Beatrice tried to enter through the door to Natsui's own room? But the magic repelling charm had been hanging from the inside, so she couldn't break through the door. So she was annoyed. So she scratched at it? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Quit it. Don't talk about that. Witches don't exist. The culprit does. They're human, just like us. If you need proof, why don't we dice her up and see if her blood's red? Damn it, damn it. How could you do that to Kanon? Click. Genji locked the door. 8 people entered Kinzo's study. And only 2 will leave. Grandfather's study. I'd heard rumors about it before, so I wasn't that shocked. He had done nothing more than fortify it thoroughly with occult hobbies. If Grandfather's hobby had been chasing after pop idols, these walls might be buried beneath idol posters. Even if I didn't understand it, I did realize this room was a bundle of all his pastimes. Even so, I couldn't help but remain dumbfounded by the smell of his crappy medicine and the sweet stench that seemed to melt my head. What? Oh, they're closing the door. When the door was closed, it automatically made a clunk. See, this is the auto lock that's activated whenever the door is closed. And there were only 2 keys that could open this door from the outside, both of which were in this room. In other words, it had become a closed room. The shutter, the receipt, the chain, and now the auto lock. This 4th door had the most magnificent lock yet. This was doubtlessly a closed room. Just to make sure that the room was secure, we checked all over for ways in or out. That was an update on something, right? No, okay, that's just the music. The window was tightly locked, that should have been enough, but just in case, we tried knocking all over the walls. After all, we had talked about there being a hidden door in this room, but we couldn't find anything suspicious. Grandfather's study was very large, even though we called it a study. It wasn't really a single room. It would be divided into 4 basic sections: a study, a bedroom, a toilet bathroom, and a section for cooking that had a sink. I see. The study really does have enough in it to live in. Now I see how Grandfather could live his whole life in this room without ever leaving. I think Grandfather wasn't in the habit of watching TV, because there was no television or even a radio in this room. I really want to see the letter. Show me the fucking letter. God damn it, please. I beg thee. Dr. Nanjo looked closely at the chessboard that sat on the table in front of the sofa and muttered. It was apparently the partly finished chess match he'd been playing with Grandfather until yesterday. The black had the white pretty well cornered, and it looked like checkmate could be reached within a few moves. The last part of the endgame. Even though checkmate had almost been reached, the endgame had been rushed. And in the end, was never completed. Kinzo-san, it seems we weren't able to see this match through after all. Dr. Nanjo. I was Kinzo's friend for a long time, but I never knew about more than half of him. I believe 2 Kinzos existed, a wise one, and one trapped by some madness. I never understood anything about him. Especially when it came to Beatrice-sama, who seemed like his personality changed. In the direction of Kumasawa-san's awkward gaze, a portrait of Beatrice could be seen. It wasn't massive like the one hanging in the entrance hall, but small, made for this room. Grandfather probably spent every day in this room, and so much of his time, talking to the witch in that portrait. Who was Beatrice to Grandfather in the first place? Right now, you couldn't just explain it away by saying it was a story made by the parents to frighten children away from wandering to the forest. Wait! I just realized what the layout of this game is going to be. We're gonna be seeing all of the story, like all the events unfold, and then either replay them with different starting conditions or like different people who picked up the key first. Right? Or are we gonna investigate each of those chapters, each of those elements, one by one, in like future episodes? What do you think the guy food brought from the kitchen? We talked together about who Beatrice was. Whether the culprit was Beatrice herself, or someone pretending to be her. Whether they were a bitch or a human. That was beside the point. The woman in this portrait was strongly related to the roots and background of this case. We couldn't talk about this case without talking about her. Are you gonna bring up the letter? I just want to stop when you read the letter. That's right. Mom, you picked up... Oh, thank God! You picked up the culprit's letter in Nondeva's room, right? Yes. I still haven't opened it. Let's give it a try. Oh, Natsui took out the western envelope. Genji pulled the paper out of the drawer in the study desk. And then I can't speak anymore. It's a good thing that I'm stopping the stream soon. And ended it to her. While watching her open it, George grimaced slightly. After all, it was a letter left at the site where his parents had been murdered. There was a good chance its contents would say something unbearable to George. Natsui also seemed to realize that, so she glanced over the contents first, without reading it aloud. We were a little frightened that she might grimace after reading something shocking, but she just frowned, unhappily. What does it say? There is one unpleasant sentence. It must be trying to provoke us. Natsui, after deciding that the contents could be shown to the children, set it openly on the table. Everyone stared at it at the same time. Praise my name. Oh. Wait, that... Oh. Okay. And it was right after tearing apart the two were close. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering when that was going to happen. So there's going to be 3 more dead before the end. And then the witch revives. What the hell? That's annoying. It's probably Beatrice declaring herself the victor. Damn it. I bet you were hoping another weird magic circle would show up. It wasn't a magic circle. But my expectations have been betrayed. What could it mean? Yeah, what do you mean? I wonder if she wants to tell her own existence. That seems reasonable. This letter, we now know that the author of this letter is the culprit. I think the identical envelope is more significant than what is written there. Yeah, it is. It is. Without a doubt, this is the type of envelope and sealing wax that the master used. Ooh. I don't know what's going on anymore. This is the first time I've seen anything like this since I started working for the Ushirimiya family. No shit. That would surprise me if you saw that before. Kumasawa, I would be extremely surprised if you saw that before. Just saying, if you... That is very weird. That is very weird. Going by last night's letter, Beatrice is claiming to be grandfather's oldest confidante. Grandfather often said the same thing in the past, right? Spoke to Genshi and Kumasawa, who nodded together. Yes, that means you two know more about her than anyone else, except grandfather. Could you tell us? For a long time, purposefully avoided this topic. But now that it has come to this, I can no longer do so. Okay. Genji, tell us everything you know. Oh, fuck. Okay. If he's gonna tell us everything, Genji didn't answer. Okay, well, I'm going to see. I want to quit when he starts answering it. He remained silent despite his despite his knowledge, or did he know nothing at all? Still, I had a good guess. The ghost story of the witch Beatrice had long been deified amongst the servants. He had probably been very close to Grandfather and his occult hobbies. So there was a good chance that he'd been indoctrinated with even weirder things, and had increasingly come to deify the witch. As Grandfather's most trusted servant who had sworn loyalty to him, he might be the most influenced by the illusion of the witch that Grandfather had created. But there was only one reason for Genji-san to remain silent. He could speak, but it would definitely cause backlash. It was better if he kept his mouth shut. And it wasn't like we'd believe him anyways. That's true. Something along those lines. A short while ago, Maria had been more than willing to speak bluntly and restrainedly. It had earned her a scuffle with Jessica. It was natural for Genji to keep his silence. Indeed. Okay, let's stop here. The music changed. I assume something else is changing. This is... I'm restarting this because it's bugged. Here we go. Okay. Wait, no. Oh, title back. Here we go. Okay. Let's stop here for today. Let me save the chart. There you go. And let me close the game. See if there's anyone who can raid on Twitch. The game crashed. Cool. Okay, let's go. We're gonna raid Fair Jame. They're pretty comfy. VTuber, I really enjoy their content. I'm gonna rate them. There you go. Thank you everyone for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. And I am going to rest my voice. Bye bye everyone. Have a good night. Alright. Here we go.